outside looking in, and I wanna be back on the inside. I don't wanna be left on the outside, all alone.
Alright, y'all can hear me now. Alright, we're good.
All alone.
Rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. You rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. You rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. Rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. You rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets.
Gotta be the face of this shit.
Beats, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. They got what you need. A dose of this vitamin G. Vitamin G. Vitamin G. Got what you need.
I'm on the outside looking in, and I wanna be back on the inside. I don't wanna be left on the outside, all alone.
Vitamin G. Got what you need. Vitamin G. Got what you need.
All alone.
Vitamin G. Discussing that heat in the street. Hey, we got just what you need on vitamin G. You rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. You rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. You rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. Rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. You rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. Got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. You rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. Vitamin G.
I'm on the outside looking in, and I wanna be back on the inside. I don't wanna be left on the outside, all alone.
Okay.
All alone.
Nobody's coming to the fucking.
I'm on the outside looking in, and I wanna be back on the inside. I don't wanna be left on the outside, all alone.
Vitamin G. Got what you need. Vitamin G. Got
All
what you need.
alone.
Vitamin G. Ay. You rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. You rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. You rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. Rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. You rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. You rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. Vitamin G. Vitamin G. Got what you need.
I'm on the outside looking in, and I wanna be back on the inside. I don't wanna be left on the outside, all alone.
Vitamin G. Got what you need. Vitamin G. Got what you need.
All alone.
Vitamin G. Tryna run the town. Tell no duck when they hear that sound. How they gon' come up now? Heavy as the head that'll wear that crown. I'm going pound for pound. And if it's about smoke, then we tote all of that. From an ounce to a pound. Check it, they biting this now. Cause my drip right up the seat. How could they be? Give me a couple of rounds. Cause I'm a beast when I'm on vitamin G. You see they start crumbling now. Mad struck start mumbling now. Get the gist, I ain't reaching for cloud. Plot twist, I'm the one with the keys. Clock bliss, know they love how it freeze. Different continents, I be torn. We living life, making yours look boring. See, we win at the end, it's a spoiler warning. Cause I keep heating up, I might blow the whole planet. They calling me toxic like global warming. But they keep tuning in once again and again. I'm the one at the top, just to form a warning. Truly, I'm De Niro when it come to movies. Get De Niro, entertain the groupies. Habanero if you come pursue me. But I hop on the gang, too busy rolled up whenever my girl getting moody. Link up with the gang, we all go insane. Catching them bills on the duty. I'm in Stixie, I'm locked in. Bought a box, I was like 10. Back then, used to box, nowadays they ain't throwing hands. Mama said we got more advanced. One thing about me, I adapt, bought a Glock fin. Keep me safe from the block in. The game kept me off the block. Ain't got flex about looting my Ruger. I can shit on you with my computer. See my graphics card costs more than your damn job can afford to pay you. And my monitor, big as hell, detail, so I can see when I spray you. To reload the clip and record the clip is go all say to that SSD. Know a whole lot of trill game heads like me wanna see tune into that VGP.
Take over the west and the east, and we got just what you need on vitamin G.
Hello. Welcome everyone to this week's episode of Vitamin G. Currently, your boy Pharaoh is looks like I'm not by myself any longer. That's good.
How are you, Pharaoh?
I am doing good. Hold on, I wasn't sure
1 second.
when you guys be showing up. But yeah, guys, welcome to episode 227 of Vitamin G. We got a real interesting one today. Panel will be
Interesting to say the least.
panel will definitely be rolling in for this one. Now so far we got Kofi and Omar. But yeah, let's kick it out with some intros and we'll see how many we get to roll in naturally. And we'll talk about stuff in between until everyone's here. So Kofi, it's been quite a while. What have you been up to and what have you been playing?
Yep, trying to be a little more consistent in 2024. I think I missed last week, but I was here 2 weeks ago trying to really ramp up my gaming paces because work has just kind of been a lot compared to 2023.
Yeah.
And new job starts on Monday of next week, so
Woohoo.
um,
Big bag.
yeah, definitely excited. But anyway, yeah, so I'm still playing Star Ocean. I'm
Okay.
playing a lot of Gran Turismo again because I'm in the market for a steering wheel. I'm just trying to see when supplies will come back because the two top steering wheel brands I want still have shortages on some parts, and I'm not about to like spend money and sit around for 6 weeks for shipments to come back.
He's not buying that little cheap steering wheel. He want the real deal. Feel like he
You want
in a
the
Ferrari. He want to feel
real
like he in a
deal.
Ferrari.
Yeah, it's going to be legit. Like at least 8 nanometers. If not, I'll get the 11 nanometer one, of course. So it's going to be like you'll want to come over for hangouts and drive a little bit, get in the car you like, and tune it. But anyway,
Have you ever driven with the wheel before?
I have, but not the ones I am getting. Or the one I want never sells in brick and mortar. Like you can't go play it with it in the store. And the second one I want, I've just never had the privilege of having. But I've done like Thrustmaster, and I've done the Logitech G29, which is a very popular one. I'd say that's like the staple entry level wheel, but I'm going a little bit higher. So, yeah. But definitely, like, there's so many great games I want to be playing right now. I haven't even purchased Grand Blue Fantasy yet. It's like number one on my list. Obviously, I'm getting Helldivers 2. That is like, co-op, go kill the monster games. I love them.
Well, I know you haven't had a chance to play it yet, but how do you feel about Grand Blue kind of outperforming a stalwart franchise like Yakuza to this point in the year so far?
Yeah, I think that's really great. I feel like both have something to be proud of. With Yakuza Infinite Wealth getting a perfect review score on Famitsu, which apparently is the second time this happened in the series. I did not realize that apparently Yakuza 5 also got a perfect score. I remember it being praised, but I forgot that it's the second in the series to get a perfect score. So that's really cool. Yeah, and then the sales of Grand Blue are, it's like this game when it was first announced, everybody was on board. And Psy Games decided to stick with it and not release it in a crap state, even though, Platinum Games, originally was developing it and then decided not to, or whatever that was. So,
yeah,
shout out to both franchises.
From the look of the gameplay that I've seen, they didn't really change much from the gameplay between Psy Games and Platinum.
Yeah, it just took them a long time. Which I'm glad. A delayed game is eventually good, right? So,
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I'm all about that.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think part of Grand Blue doing so well is the live service multiplayer component of it. It's a lot easier to build your player base when there's a multiplayer component than when there's a single player component. It's a lot easier to get people to say, hey, I need you to play this with me, versus, hey, it's a great game, you should play it.
It also had a demo. I think that counts for it as well.
Are you telling me that the other previous versions didn't have any type of demo?
So far I know, we never got a demo for Yakuza.
I'm talking about Grand Blue.
Yeah, I don't think Grand Blue had a.
It had a demo.
It had a demo.
Yeah, I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. I don't think this is the first instance of Grand Blue having demos.
This is the
first
instance of Grand Blue.
Yeah, I think it is.
This is the first instance of Grand Blue being single player to begin with. So far I know, it's a fighting game.
Oh, well, in terms of, we're talking about Relink specifically. Yeah.
I'm just talking about
most recent demo.
I'm just talking about the Grand Blue franchise, the series in general. It hasn't had a demo ever before, is what is.
But you can't compare the two, because Grand Blue have always been a fighting franchise. This is a single player story driven game.
Yeah, but even before the fighting game, it was like a card game.
Yeah. But I'm saying the live service element is helping it grow faster. That's all I was saying.
No, it's a demo that helps it grow faster. When someone gets to touch a game and experience it for themselves, sales gonna skyrocket.
That's not necessarily true. There's a lot of games that have demos that doesn't translate to great sales. And I'm saying games that have good demos. There's plenty of games that have really good demos that don't necessarily like Final Fantasy 16 had a really good demo. It didn't translate into it having its best sales ever.
It actually did.
It didn't because it's not the best selling Final Fantasy ever. It's still sold in line with other. It's sold in line with other Final Fantasies.
The demo by itself was a great demo. The end product wasn't great.
But I'm saying, but people don't know that the end product isn't great until they buy it. Like, you can have a great demo and then buy a game, and the game not be as good as the demo, but you still capture great sales because of the demo. I'm just saying that, I'm just using Final Fantasy 16 as an example. It had a fantastic demo. Everyone loved the Final Fantasy 16 demo. It didn't translate to it having more sales success than a typical Final Fantasy game. It's still in line with the other Final Fantasies in the series.
I do know that Grand Blue, pre-order skyrocketed after the demo. I do know that But
Yeah, I think
I don't know if like my thought is I don't know if it being a live service is what boosted it. I know for me it being multiplayer.
that's why I said the
boosted it.
multiplayer component. I said it having
Okay.
a
Not
multiplayer.
necessarily live service because it does have live service components, but
Yeah,
the
yeah,
but
it's just
multiplayer
multiplayer.
yeah,
is what.
that's what I
The
said.
fact that
It
you
being live
Okay.
service and having multiplayer is what pushed it because instead of you playing the game as an isolated experience and me telling you that you should play this great game, like I could tell people to their blue in the face that they should play Final Fantasy VII Remake. I mean, and I do tell people to their blue in the face. I'm still telling people to this day they should play Final Fantasy VII Remake.
Yeah.
And they don't play it. Versus if I said, "Hey, play, this multiplayer game with me, like Power World," everyone and their mom jumps on and plays Power World because there's multiplayer component to it.
Mhm.
So that's all I'm saying is that the multiplayer doesn't make it better than Yakuza, doesn't make it, but it does create an element to the game that allows you to entice other players who may have not considered the game. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's all.
Okay.
But this was a good conversation. It dragged on, and we got a couple more people to come into the chat. And I'm gonna save our guy who's been having a rough year for last. But Omar, what have you been playing?
So I'm playing right now a game called Thundered. It's a PlayStation Premium. It's like a Metroidvania.
Mm-hmm.
I played it before on my laptop long time ago, and I wanted to find a game that I can play while podcasting, and this is it. Other than that, I finished Grime. I had such a pleasure, such fun playing Grime. Another Metroidvania, and I'm still on Yakuza. I'm in Yakuza Kiwami 2. I'm in Chapter 8. No, Chapter 11 now. So maybe close to ending or very close to the end. And I already have access to Yakuza 3, 4, and 5. And it's a matter of after Yakuza, I'm definitely gonna play Relink because I need that Relink. And after it, it's Persona 3, baby.
All right. Which is available right now, Persona 3. You can get it in physical on every platform, which is not the typical. And it's also in Game Pass right now, right, Jubei?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is.
All right. So, Jubei, what have you been up to? What are you playing?
What am I playing right now? All sorts of shit. I'm still trying to catch up on my backlog.
Okay.
I'm just doing a Madden draft right now, so
Okay.
quiet. That's why.
All right.
So you're not
But-
touching Persona or Relink?
What, Reload?
Relink, yeah.
Grand Blue. Well, he's like anti.
So you
PlayStation.
saw what I said in the chat. I said because it wasn't a 90, it's not a day one buy for me. So I can wait on Relink. I don't care.
Okay.
It's gonna go into the pile of RPGs that I still have yet to play, and I'm probably gonna end up playing Final Fantasy.
And
He really needs to play Tales of Arise. I was looking at his playtime. He only has like 16 hours on that bad boy, and it's such a fantastic game.
I don't got enough. You're right. Like I said, this is all part of the backlog.
You got to go get on that. I mean, it's a long game because
No doubt.
I mean, I didn't do any grinding, and
I did.
I'm at 200 plus hours.
Wow. Okay. Wow. You have more hours than me. I've got like maybe 110.
Yeah, I just did all the side quests and stuff like that, and
Yes. I think I did.
I think
no,
I
did not. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it said my total playtime is like 200 hours for.
Wow.
I played the OG Persona 3. Like I'm not in a rush to play it again right now.
Yeah, Tales of Arise, you got to get on that one. It's such a fantastic game.
I know. And I got the DLC and stuff for it, so I'm all set by the time I get to endgame. But I do need to play it.
Okay. So with that said, what I've been playing this weekend.
But before you go, I'm gonna finagle my way into some Suicide Squad though. So
Yeah,
we'll see.
I'm trying to hold off because Zero said he's on the way, and every time I fired up my PlayStation the past couple days, to get ready for Rebirth, and
Yep.
every time I turn it on, Zero is knee deep in Suicide Squad. So I was trying to get.
Suicide Squad not saying nothing. He ain't giving us Nathan.
He has been knee deep in that. If he hasn't beaten it, I'd be shocked. But I really want to get his thoughts on it because that game has had a lot. Oh, and here we go. Zero. Are you ready to talk?
I'm here. I'm on.
All right.
Zero,
all right.
you
All
better
right.
have a good reason for Suicide. From
So-
what I've heard, damn.
So yeah.
Funny-
Welcome,
funny enough, I just
welcome
finished.
welcome our good friend Zero to the panel. What have you been doing? What have you been playing, I should say? And give us your thoughts on Suicide Squad because I see that you have been playing that extensively.
Not only have I been playing since I finished. I
I
just
know you
finished
did.
it.
I
probably 30
know
minutes
you
ago.
finished it because every time I turned on my PlayStation, you were on Suicide Squad.
I was on Suicide Squad.
Yeah, so I know you finished it.
I guess I can start with that game does not deserve as much hate as it was getting.
I know it didn't. I know it didn't. I could tell it was a good game. Like I'm not like
Well, not gonna
not a
necessarily
four.
say.
I know it wasn't I know it wasn't a 63. That's what I knew. Looking at it.
Hard to say. What overall, what the Suicide Squad sits at is a very. It is probably the most definition of a mid game. The
Okay.
one I think shining standout is for me the actual story. The story is fantastic.
Yeah. But the story is what everyone hates about it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I hate.
Really? I thought it was the other way around.
No, people hate
No.
people aren't talking about the gameplay. People are purely talking about the story. People hate the story.
Yeah.
But what people don't
Especially
realize
how
is that
they
the story is actual comic book series. It's
The
everything that
issue
happens
is-
in the game is from the comics directly.
Yeah, but the issue is it's in the same Arkham universe, the same universe that we, the people, have played it for what three games. So that's what's thing about it. But go ahead.
Well, that's where I can't be. I'm not sure yet because they aren't being very clear.
No,
I know
apparently
they've
it's super clear
said
about
they've
that.
said it's well.
Go ahead.
All they said was that it is in Rocksteady's Arkham universe, which can be true. However, it does not necessarily have to be on Rocksteady's Arkham's Earth. With just minor spoilers, it's a comic book. Everybody knows this by now. Clearly, there are multiple Earths in this game.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I don't know what Earth we're on.
Yeah, they just that's why I said I wouldn't take it to heart.
And they aren't specifically telling us just yet. Now, I could be completely wrong. It could be the same Batman thing, in which case I don't have that level of relationship with Rocksteady's Batman.
Yeah, because
So-
technically, Gotham Knights takes place in that same Rocksteady universe, and Batman died in that one too. So they killed two Batmans. Yeah, multiverse.
No, because if you played the ending, he is actually alive because he used the fear. What do you call it?
Fear toxin.
Doctor.
He used the fear toxin.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So as I understand, Bruce is supposed to be alive. I can tell you he's not alive in this one.
Yeah, precisely. And that's what people are mad about.
But there's a part of me I understand. However, like even when we initially saw this, they've been telling us exactly what they were going to do from the moment we saw this trailer show up. The Suicide Squad is going to kill the Justice League.
I mean, it's in the title.
Granted. I'll agree. I think that I'm a little. My only assumption is I think they made two interesting choices. One is the real focus on Wonder Woman, which I didn't fully understand until I remembered that WB is also making a Wonder Woman game.
Is
So I
WB
think this
making it or is Monolith making it? I could have sworn Monolith was making it. I'm
No,
not
they're
sure.
making it.
Okay.
it
Well,
is it W like, or is it under the same umbrella?
I don't know if Monolith is a WB studio, but I heard Monolith was the one making Wonder Woman. I thought it might have been a licensed product.
Because Lord of the Rings is made by WB, right? Shadow of Mordor.
Yes, it is. It
Yeah,
is
and
made
only
by
because
WB.
I'm assuming because Wonder Woman's supposed to have the quote unquote Nemesis system, which is a WB patent from the Shadow of Mordor universe. Now, if
Yes.
I'm wrong, then I'm confused. But if WB is the parent company doing Wonder Woman, I understand why she's the focus of it all.
Yeah.
Because I think they're just testing out like how you guys going to respond to Wonder Woman. And she's pretty awesome in the story. If it were me, I might have switched it and had Batman be sort of the more heroic person.
that's what everyone said. Interesting.
But I still think that people are upset that Batman died. I'm still killing Batman by the end of this. I have no problem killing the Justice. I mean, that's what it's called. It's called Kill the Justice League. Go for it.
I mean, the premise of the story, if they're taken over by Brainiac, right? There's kind of like no way to get out of that without killing him.
And they say as much. Like they
and they say so. Like
yeah.
you gotta murk him. Sorry.
Yeah.
If that's why they don't like it, that's whack.
It's
That's
kind
why
of weak.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
Weren't we? Who were we just talking about? Like video game villains with? I think that was me and Bloody last week or some shit.
Yeah, people
Like,
just don't
we
like
don't-
people, people don't like being the villain.
Yeah.
Well,
That's
and
such a shame.
but I think also more importantly, and it's a running thing now. People don't like Batman losing.
Yeah.
Like they don't like because even
I don't know what they're
a
mad
lot of
about. He
this-
had prep time.
a lot of this story is still built is predicated off of like most of the stuff how we figure out how to beat them is from Batman. So it's still that sort of Tower of Babel Justice League thing that they have. So still otherwise story I think is pretty solid. The acting is fantastic. All four Suicide Squad members are really fun. The animations are really, really good. The battle system is okay. I do wish they would have leaned closer to Guardians or even Rocksteady's old sort of Batman games, because effectively you've got four very different people who all pretty much fight the same.
Yeah, see, this is what I was hearing. I heard that
Yeah.
the story was fantastic, and that this stuff was like the moment to moment gameplay is not that good.
It's boring. It's not interesting. Like I'm just not at all interested in anything that's happening. As much as I like the dialogue, they really don't shut up, but I just don't pay attention to what they're saying.
Now, did
Like, I just
you do the multiplayer, or you only played single player?
Only played single player.
Okay.
I didn't have my friend who would be doing it is currently playing Grand Blue.
Okay.
So we'll probably circle back into it because obviously there's an end game. And I've got a bunch of stuff to do in end game, but even then, it's not. This is what I mean by mid. It's not a great Rockstar Batman type game, but it's also not really that great of a looter either. Like it just sort of sits real even keeled, and I feel like if they would have leaned in either direction, it might have been better. But you know, as a person who plays a lot of looters,
So-
nothing about this stood out to me.
I heard that
What-
it's like a copy and paste Gotham Knights in
Let
some
me ask a
ways.
question then.
And I think it's better than Gotham Knights because one of my issues with Gotham Knights, it was so slow.
Yeah.
Pharaoh said that you've been addicted to it. So what made you come back if you didn't enjoy the combat?
Well, it's not that I don't enjoy it. I don't enjoy the looting aspect of it. The looter shooter loop of like fight a boss, get some items, level up, get new items. All the bosses are the same. None of them are interesting. They're vague purple things that are Brainiac things. Unfortunately, the actual bosses, i.e., the Justice League, also aren't that interesting. People really like Green Lantern. I like the Flash. Batman, I think, was a pretty big disappointment. They do some cool stuff with him, but by the end of it, it's not that interesting. And Brainiac is not that interesting either. It feels real bit let down. But like the moment to moment shooting and actually fighting, that's fun. It's just when you have rescued the same penguin car or only be able to kill people with a grenade your fifth, sixth time, it stops being interesting. Like it's just very boring. I don't care what's happening. They have this whole sort of crafting system, which I think is really, really good. I don't care. I've not used it. I'm not using it. I beat the game without even like bothering with it for the most part. Like I pay attention to some stuff, but I'm not gonna zero in on I want this build or I want this build or I want this build. There is, I think, 6 different currencies, not including the premium currency. None of them matter. I don't understand why I just couldn't be locked in between one whole currency as a whole. It does a lot of really questionable things. And I understand people's perspective on it because like Rockstar did make pretty good games for a very long time. So I don't blame people for being upset, but it is just decidedly a mid game. It is like even playing with friends, I don't think is going to be that fun.
Damn.
Oof.
what would you give it
You're like
from
you're
meta?
breaking Nappy right now. He's so.
Is Gotham Knights better?
No, you're not breaking me. I mean, I've been playing Grand Blue Fantasy, as you can see behind me.
So
Time of my life.
Jube, I think Gotham Knights is slow. I couldn't finish Gotham Knights.
No, it is slow. It's very slow.
I was like, why is this moving so slow? So I still think Suicide Squad is better than Gotham Knights. But it's one of the things where it's like you've got King Shark and Captain Boomerang. Imagine what they would fight like if Rocksteady went back to how they made their old Batman games. Like that would be really cool.
Yeah.
Because there's 4 characters with very unique, different fighting styles, and like there's some like things that make them different, but for the most part, it is pick up your gun. All 4 of them got guns. Let's pick up your gun and shoot everybody you see.
What would you give it on meta?
60, 65.
Oh, you would have gave it
slightly
65.
above average. Slightly above average.
Slightly above average. Like it's not as bad as like Gollum.
Wow.
Hey,
in the
you're gonna say
same
Gollum, then
See, I thought
like if we're thinking like the worst games, like I'm not gonna put Suicide Squad as one of.
I thought you would have landed it around like a 73, personally, but
no, and only because as a really big fan of looter shooters, it just doesn't do anything new.
Then the meta is accurate for it. Then what it was
to 0 it is, yeah.
Yeah, like the story really carries it for the most part. Like if the story sucked, this game probably would crash and burn. But I like it better than Avengers.
Okay.
I mean, that's a little bad.
Yeah. And I'm impressed, at least as far as I can tell so far, that they've committed to we're gonna kill your favorite Batman. Be mad about it.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm impressed anybody had the balls to do that. I still think they definitely have a way out of that situation. Time will tell. Kevin Conroy, there's actually a nice heartwarming message to Kevin Conroy at the end of the game.
Oh, they said there's like another performance still they haven't released yet of him. Or something.
He has another performance from something I think in the animated series actually.
Okay.
Yeah. Which might be his last. But you know, people arguing about that whole thing, I think they're arguing in bad faith. Like Kevin Conroy signed up to do exactly what he wanted to do. He wasn't tricked into doing this. Like he read the script, he knew what was going on. And it is not proper to like use him as some sort of leveraging tool for this game. Quite frankly,
fake outrage.
Yeah, this is I hate to say it, but this is a Game Pass PS Plus game. I think
for
most people.
So Game Pass travel. Well,
you said PS Plus as well. Yeah,
and PS
Plus is also full of shovelware. Don't get it twisted.
Or for anybody who's interested in it, wait till it's like $20-$30. Like, with everything that we've got going on and stuff that we got to play, there is no rush to jump out here and spend $70 on this game. That is going to ask you for more money down the line.
Okay.
Have you done anything of the end game content? Because I heard that's egregious, to say the least.
It's the same. Basically speaking, there's a like to initiate the last boss is the in-game content.
I
So
know.
you just
I'm aware of it.
Yeah, you
I'm
rinse
just
and
having
repeat.
you
You
explain
just
it
rinse
for
and repeat
others.
that at different difficulties.
I watched the full review, or not review, a breakdown of it. This is why
Yeah.
I know so much about it.
Um,
But I was curious about your opinion of it, because from everything that I've seen, I'm like, nah, I couldn't survive with this. I was
like
already pissed with what they did to Batman. So I'm like,
I said, there are games that just do the stuff that they do better. Like when I think about like that, this and the Division aren't too dissimilar, but the Division was carried a lot by the Dark Zone. And that feel of like extracting and like trying to get out before you can get in.
I loved multiplayer.
the
in Division.
Dark
It
Zone
was
was
so fun.
before it became, shitty. A lot
Yeah,
of
like
people cheated on it.
as it goes. And I Kofi, I like the Division too. But inevitably once I got to a point I couldn't tell you what the story about the Division was. I did not care at all. Yeah, like I didn't
Yeah.
care.
Oh,
I just wanted
absolutely.
to
Yeah.
run around and just shoot
Absolutely.
people.
I could not agree more.
So like there are just so many. All of us have played a game very similar to Justice League. So Suicide Squad. So like playing it will not shock you. It will not be different. It will just, to me, not surprise you in any good way, in any meaningful way.
Yeah, I don't know. Like Remnant 2 is like my favorite game ever, and that's the
Exa-
story. I don't know what's going on in Remnant 2. Even at the end, I'm
Yeah.
like, so you explained nothing,
Which is
literally nothing.
also
Yeah, I'll do it like
Yeah.
this. Like Kofi,
You just love that
Jube,
gameplay loop.
Nappy.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree with that. I played Remnant 1 and it's the same situation.
Yeah, like Kofi with Remnant, Nappy with Monster Hunter, Jube with Destiny. You have all played better versions of this game.
and Remnant 2 is
And you can
in the Game Pass.
continue to
Remnant
play
1
better.
and
All
2.
three of those games I just named are still going strong, still comfortable to play to this day. You will have probably a better time playing them than you will Suicide Squad.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I mean by it doesn't do anything impressive or different.
Remnant
I'd
2
say
got that
wait.
DLC coming.
Yeah, they do. They do have
if-
the DLC.
Yeah. Now, granted, if this game can make it to maybe by the end of this year, check back in with it. Let's see what the DLC looks like. Let's see what the expansions are. It looks like obviously Joker's there.
Yeah.
I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure that's Mr. Freeze or his wife, who will be the next person, and I can't figure out the other two.
All right.
Do you think this game have legs to stand on and survive, unlike Avengers?
I
Depends
mean,
on the
even
content.
Avengers lasted for a little bit, because like Avengers had like 3 or 4 DLCs.
Yeah, I think Avengers did fine on the content releases until the Spider-Man one. The Spider-Man one was like kind of bad. I think
That was
people were hyped for the Black Panther one.
The Hawkeye one was very good.
Yeah, I think people liked the Hawkeye. Hawkeye and Black Panther were the two that did well. Did they do? No, they didn't do one for Black Widow. Did they?
No, because she's already in
Yeah,
it,
she
so
was
I
a
don't
core
think
character, but I was wondering if they did
They did. No, they did do something for Black Widow.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I thought they did.
Yeah, you're right. So it's about 3 of them.
Yeah,
4.
and then but those are like the top 3, and then after that, the Spider-Man one came out, and it was really lackluster, and then they did something after Spider-Man.
Something with the Arrow's daughter or something like that.
Yeah,
The Future Imperfect storyline. Yes, yeah.
and those two didn't do very well at all.
Yeah.
And then Captain America's brother, the metal arm guy, he got a DLC.
Winter Soldier.
Oh, I didn't know Winter Soldier had one. Okay.
Yeah,
Winter Soldier came out, and people were like, "Meh."
I mean, that game is completely 100% delisted now, so you know.
Hey, I mean, people got the offline version. They're trying to do something with it.
Yeah, well, if you want to go, well, I guess it wouldn't be pirating anymore, would it? Because you can't buy.
No, the game's still on sale, so like you can
Where's
still
it on
play
sale
online
at?
with other people.
Where's it on sale at? That was delisted.
I mean,
everywhere.
it wasn't Avengers. No, they just shut down the updates for it.
Are they physical?
They
copies?
delisted it. I know they delisted it on PlayStation and Xbox. They gave you they said you had like till like May 30th of like this year to purchase it.
Oh, I could check Steam real quick to see if it's still there.
I thought it got delisted everywhere. But
That'd be
while you're
crazy.
looking, tell us about your experience with Grand Blue, which also launched this weekend.
Grand Blue. I am loving it. So the thing about Grand Blue.
Did you beat it already? I saw it kind of turned me off. I saw some people beat it like in like 12 hours.
It's okay. So yes, the story is short, but I'm actually kind of okay with the story being short because of you are stuck with the main character until you beat the story.
Okay.
Which means that like actually I can actually pull this up for you guys to see. But basically as long as you don't beat the story, the main character who's like a wind type character, he's not really bad. It's just he's like there's better characters. You will have to keep him in your party no matter what you do. And
you can switch to other character?
You can switch to other characters in your party, but he has to stay in your party no matter what you do.
Mm-hmm.
Which is a downside for me because it's like I'm like, oh god, I can't take him out of my party. But besides that, as far as playing Grand Blue Fantasy is actually really awesome. And after the in-game content, I am really impressed with the in-game and just like partnering up with people. So this game does have a leveling system. I think a cap is like level 115, but honestly, after level like 70, your level doesn't matter. It's more so your equipment and these things called engrams that you have to equip to your character.
Okay.
There is a
looks really
wide,
good.
Yeah, there is a extremely wide selection of characters. Well, I won't say extremely wide, but there's a wide enough selection of characters that you can unlock throughout the game.
8 or 10
I just wish they had my homies from the fighting game because I'm a big fan of Zoe and Ernest, I think is his name.
And did you partake? It looks like you're playing multiplayer with some people. So how'd you like the multiplayer?
Yeah, I play multiplayer right now. Like we're killing this ancient dragon.
How you enjoyed the multiplayer component of it?
Oh yeah, the multiplayer is good. So it's a little iffy on how to play like the campaign with multiplayer, but the side missions and everything else you could do multiplayer no problem.
Okay.
My biggest also like as far as leveling up your character, you basically like I said, you basically have the regular level system where you level up your character and then you can get some level up your equipment, which it seems to be very generous for the most part. The playing the story's okay. I mean, it's expected as a Grand Blue Fantasy story. Well, I wasn't expecting like this deep, meaningful story. It's a basic JRPG story. Good and friendship prevails. We cannot quit no matter what, and all that other stuff.
Okay.
But what's really got this game is honestly the gameplay loop. The gameplay loop is phenomenal.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah. So, like I said, because I play Monster Hunter, I kind of like the fact that like even though I have the leveling system, that I'm able to get my character so much stronger, but based off of equipment and using engrams. So I could take like a level 70 character, take him to a level 100 boss, and still be dishing out like as much damage and critical damage, just like the other characters.
Okay.
So my favorite character so far is the Lance-Off guy, as you guys can see in the video. That's my main that I'm using right now.
Hey, that's my favorite character right there, Ultimate Flash.
So right now I'm trying to level up some other characters because I realize he's a water type, and I kind of want to get at least like one water, one fire, one water, one fire, one earth, one air, one light, one darkness.
Okay.
So that way I can take him in all scenarios.
Snappy, can I ask you a quick question about the characters?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
Siegfried, is he supposed to be a reference to Soul Calibur?
No, but I know why you would say that.
Like,
even in the fighting game, he has that kind of like overwhelming presence.
Yeah,
but like Siegfried in Soul Calibur.
And his card was like a knight from a far off land who like had some shadowy stuff happen to him and disappeared. And I was like, so Siegfried,
he's more badass than Siegfried to me, but less badass than Nightmare. He's like the in between.
The Zazuma. Yeah. Also, there's actually a character that honestly reminds me a lot of Yoda. His name is Yodara. He's a wind type. He's like this little midget elf that you can see on the screen.
That's my favorite character with the twin blades, right?
Yeah, with the twin blades. Like, he be cutting stuff up like crazy. Like, I'm like, this is definitely Yoda. I don't care what nobody says. It's Yoda.
You talking about the little old guy?
The little old guy with the two twin blades? He's a wind type character. His name is Yodara or Yodara. That's Yoda. I don't care what no one says. It's Yoda.
He's a hopping fighter.
Yes.
Yeah, he like hops around. He does a lot of fast slashes. He be jumping all over the place. It's Yoda. I don't care what no one says.
Okay, all right.
But so far, Grand Blue Fantasy is a blast. It's a game I highly recommend. I will say, if you get the game, just go try to beeline the story so you can get to the end game. So you can take what's his name out your fucking party. I don't hate him. It's just I don't like being told what to do.
The main guy's name Grant?
So his name is Gran if you pick the male, and it's like Russia or Rosa or something if you pick a female. They basically play the same. They're both wind types, but yeah, I just don't like it when I'm told to keep what party I'm allowed to have. So yeah, just beeline that story. You can finish it very quickly and get to that end game stuff because that's where the true fun is at.
Okay.
I mean, the story's fun too, but the end game stuff is actually like really fun. I really liked it. I really like the end game so far, and they also released some roadmap, so they're going to add more content to this game for free. Well, first update's going to be free content, so it's like really excited about
probably
that.
The first wave of content is free, but I would
assume
they're going to monetize
but
it at some point.
I would say this definitely scratches that JRPG itch, though. I'm like, if you need like a JRPG to play with friends, Grand Blue Fantasy is where it's at. You should definitely get this game.
So since Zero gave out a score, what is your score for this particular game based on your experience this weekend?
I would say I'll give it a solid it's like I'm actually gonna be nice because I ain't gonna pretend. Like I'll give it like an 8.5 out of 10.
All right,
Nice.
so 85. Okay, 85.
It's an 85. I'll give it an 85.
I'll try to catch up with you, Nappy, because at some point I'm gonna pick it up.
Yeah, you got to pick it up. I don't think it's cross-platform though.
I think it is. I thought it was.
Is it?
Oh, maybe
he got a PC, so he can.
It's true. I have a PC too.
Yeah, I mean, don't be wrong. This game could run on potato. Like, when they said GTX 1050 as a minimum requirement, I've seen people run this on integrated graphics, and they run it on the Steam Deck perfectly fine.
I mean, I don't know
Now,
if it's working right, but like things like Baldur's Gate look great in my opinion. I only have a 1080 Ti, so I really haven't like hit that point where I'm like, oh gosh, my graphics card sucks.
Yeah, but also like the fact that it can run on a Steam Deck, that's really good. Now it may slow down slightly a little bit for the lower end PCs because of you see all the flashy numbers and everyone's doing their specials and full burst happens. But other than that, yeah, the game seems to run perfectly fine. Like everyone's enjoying it. So if you do get on PC, man, just hit me up and once
you have a 4090?
I have a 2070 Super.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Like this game is actually really fun. Also, I've been playing Power World. Power World's been really fun. I realized they released the first update on PC to address some of the issues. They still haven't addressed the memory leak issue with the servers, but the developer is kind of like, I could tell that they're overwhelmed. They weren't expecting Power World to be this big because they're like freaking out. They said they can't even like, if they were to purchase all the servers just to sustain the current player base, they can easily go bankrupt. I was like, damn.
I heard it was like $500,000 or something a month.
It was like 3 million a month or something like that.
I would think you would kind of rent the servers and not buy them outright.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, don't be wrong. Apparently, Microsoft has reached out to them, and Microsoft says they're going to help them out with the server side because they realized how small the team was, and they weren't ready.
Microsoft will probably give them server space at a discounted rate for in exchange for extended exclusivity.
But when does the Xbox version get the PC, updates? Like play
it's getting updates as fast as they can push them out. So,
but isn't it the same update that's on PC? Like, what are we talking about?
Well, I think what's going to happen is because Steam allows you to update like whenever you want. I think Steam's going to get all like the part, like it's a bunch of small patches that's going to happen on PC because I saw 2 times that my Power that updated on my Steam page. So I think what's going to happen is that the PC are going to get these small like incremental updates, and then Xbox is probably going to get once like the game is like gets a really massive update that fixes a lot of things. That's when you Xbox people are going to get this massive update.
Because on consoles it has to clear through the console the platform holder before the update gets pushed out to the customer.
Yeah,
it kind of sucks for Xbox people, but the game is so much fun.
Because then it'll be crossplay, right? Because right now you can't even crossplay.
Well, they're working on crossplay. Yeah, they're working on it.
So, but anyway, like I said, Grand Blue Fantasy, a fun JRPG game to play with friends. If you a high ceiling cap, and I don't know, just it really does scratch that JRPG itch, multiplayer JRPG itch that I've been having lately.
All right.
So, and also Power World is just funny. I just like Power World. I just wish they will finish the game. Once they finish the game, I'm pretty sure it's going to be great.
I think that's a game that's never going to be finished. It's just going to be a game they just keep adding content to.
Oh God, they only got 100. What's that?
It's going to be the Fortnite of Pocket Monsters.
We'll see. But
huh?
But yeah, but as of right now, I guess I'll pass it up. Just guys, remember, play Grand Blue Fantasy. It is a fun game. If you love that JRPG game, the only downside is that there's a way to get XP for each other character, but they did it in a way that's like really messed up. I won't say messed up, but it's like each character has his own chapter for like reviewing his story, and if you actually listen to his story, you get free XP. But when you start the story, you cannot skip the dialogue or anything. You have to sit there, grab a bag of popcorn, and listen to some of these characters' backstory just to get the XP and just to get the attack bonuses and all the other stuff sometimes and the free levels. But god damn, I don't give a damn about these people's stories. Some of them I don't really care about. I just want the free level ups. That's probably like my only small gripe with it, but that's a personal one.
All right. And last but certainly not least, I finished up Beyond the Dawn DLC this weekend. It was definitely enjoyable. It was better than what I was expecting it to be. It started off kind of slow, and I was kind of telling you guys that last time Kofi was on the show, so it just didn't really inspire me to, dive head in. But as soon as the incident happened at NES, it picked up pretty quickly, and I really, really enjoyed it. I guess my overall score for Tales of Arise with the DLC included would probably be like an 88, 89 overall. Yeah, I think it was a really clean and fun experience. A ton of side quests, but they weren't done in such a way that like you felt beat down into the ground. Like if you just like play the game the way you're supposed to play it, half of the side quest is just like, oh, I need some items, and you already have the items on hand. So, it's not like quite like I gotta go on this fetch to go get some of this stuff. So I did like that. I did like how
did you play as Alphen the whole time, or what was your like go-to?
I played as Alphen the whole time, like running through cities and stuff like that. But like in combat
gameplay, yeah.
In the combat, I switched out a little bit.
Who's your main for?
My main for, I think it started out with Alphen, Shion, Dohalim, and Law. But then I ended up switching out between Law and Renwell, depending on the type of, like, as the opponents got stronger, it just ended up being better to have Renwell in the party because you didn't have like Law getting beat up and getting his health all smashed away from him in close combat.
Law,
I mean, he's kind of a glass cannon. Like he doesn't take damage well, but he can dish it out, and also so
them combos.
Yeah,
combos.
So I ended up kind of switching to Renwell at times, and Dohalim and Shion in my party was a must because they both had healing capabilities. So I kept those two in the party at all times, and I would just kind of swap out between like. I didn't really care for Kisara's battle set, her moves and stuff like that. Like she kind of felt like a little bit slower. Yeah. Her shield was definitely an asset, but she wasn't really like a main for me.
So like I was just gonna say my 4 was similar to yours. Joe Halim. I did not play as Alphen for actually the entire DLC, and for maybe like the last 20 hours of the base game. Joe Halim is just perfect. Like you were saying, he heals. He hits hard with magic. His skills can let him basically fly. I mean, like I'm in the air like 60% of every fight, just like switching in and out, different skills, zooming down.
You can do that with Alphen too, because he has a double jump and stuff like that.
Yeah. No knock on Alphen. And Alphen is also my main and Xion. So it'll be Rinrao, Dohalim, Xion, and Alphen. But yeah, I agree. Kisara, I didn't end up using her sometimes because I would be like, Kisara's got great defense, but I'll be getting rocked and I need more offense.
She's so slow is really the thing for me.
Yeah, I mean, even like not playing as her, like she'll be like blocking and doing all her like stops. I'm like, okay, but I need like spike damage right now.
But she does have the best. She does have the best finishers, though.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, those finishers hit hard.
She has the best finishers.
I adore Kisara. I was going to say, like for the last 10 years, JRPG female, Kisara's top. If we're not talking trails, excluding trails, she's like top 3. I just find her mature. I find her very well developed. Thoughtful.
She's cool.
Perfect.
I think she was a little too motherly at times.
Oh, I loved it. A
little too motherly at times.
I was eating it up.
Like having to teach the group how to like wash clothes and stuff like that. Nappy, you are muted.
He loves some strong mothers. He loves some strong, independent women for you. That's a strong, independent woman for you, man.
Like she had to teach Dohalim how to dress himself. Like it was just like.
She's a strong, independent. That's a strong, independent woman, man. Everybody wants that by their side, man. Not everyone can get that.
I listened to a lot of the cutscenes between them in English and in Japanese, and the energy is different. I don't know how to describe it. I'll have to maybe do a side by side. But
yeah, she's talking about I'll wash the clothes and before we go to bed tonight and stuff like that. Like she's like washing the whole group's clothes and all that stuff. I was like, I'm not knocking it. I'm just saying she was like a little bit too motherly she was like the mother of the group a little bit too much to me. It's not knocking her for it, but I'm just saying.
Yeah, no.
It was like the first half of her being in the story, she couldn't stop talking about her brother. Which wasn't annoying or anything like that, but it was just like she spent talking about her brother a lot and then taking care of the group while also teaching Dohalim how to be a self-sufficient human being. And then her balancing the line between what they are, not treating him like the king he was, and it was, she had a lot to deal with. She's still a great character, but she just had so many things to do. They put so much on her plate.
Yeah,
she probably out of all of the characters, she probably in some ways had the most character development. Of everyone in different ways. Most of the characters had singular things they were dealing with. It felt like she was dealing with multiple things.
I have a question. Did you beat the secret bosses for this? This is the original Tales of Arise.
Yeah, I beat all the bosses. Yeah, I beat all of them.
I did not.
The secret ones too, because Law actually had a huge character development.
Yeah, I beat all of them.
And including okay, so it's not spoiler. So you beat Law's dad?
Yeah, I beat him twice.
Okay.
Yeah, you actually see him in the DLC.
Yeah, you fight him again in the DLC. Yeah.
Oh well, I need to play the DLC.
Yeah, but like I said, I think Law had a lot of character development. I think Kisara's was just the most diverse. She is dealing with a whole bunch of different things, whereas Law, his issue was the same issue from kind of beginning to end. He growing within himself in that way, just like Xion, her main issue was the thorns, and that persisted, throughout the entire story. And then once the thorns were done, she wasn't really dealing with anything. She was more so helping Elfin deal with his stuff.
Yeah.
Once she got rid of her thorns, and
I like Xion a lot. I do. I just really like
Rinwell. She was dealing with
Her whole
prejudice.
clan being executed
But
because she was the only human that
more so
Excuse
she was
me,
battling her
excuse me.
prejudice.
Wait. Is this a Tales of Arise spoiler cut? Because I don't remember signing up to it.
I'm not spoiling.
I
I'm not spoiling anything because like the minute that you meet Runwell, you learn exactly what her is. But you know the things that they're battling, they battle at throughout the whole story. I'm just saying that
Okay.
you know, Kisar kind of had the most diverse. I'm dealing with a whole bunch of issues that I, you know, kind of working through. My whole life has changed, and I'm kind of figuring it out. But yeah. I overall, I would give it like a probably like an 88 or an 89. I thought it was a great game.
8 from me.
What's your next game to play now?
My next new game is probably Rebirth.
Mm-hmm.
So
Wait,
That's
you gonna wait all the way for Rebirth? What you?
well, right now I'm playing through Remake again. I'm playing through.
The remake again.
Yeah, so
Like
that
the 8th time.
might be more than.
I
it's
mean,
probably more,
honestly,
it's
they
probably-
only can tell the story but so many times, man.
I know.
Yeah,
That can
like-
be another RPG.
Well, you know, I
that you've never heard of.
gotta get used to the.
You're
I
not
gotta get back in.
Persona?
I gotta get back in the combat loop and all that.
No, you don't.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I do.
Well, no, what
No,
he's trying to do,
it's
he's trying to get
not.
he's trying to get all 6 dresses. That's what he's trying to do.
Already got
all 6.
I
Already got
forgot how to
already,
push
Especially with
already got the
Rebirth having
platinum.
different combat. Like, nah, we.
Right. Yeah, you already got the platinum. Played it on the hardest difficulty. You played what was the other one? Reunion. I'm
Yeah,
sure
I beat. I'm not starting from Reunion at least.
Oh my goodness.
So
I mean,
I-
play Grand Blue Fantasy.
I
I
made it-
mean,
I made it-
Go
Yeah,
play something else.
I made it.
And Persona.
I'm already on chapter 5. I made it chapter 5.
I've never seen Pharaoh play a Persona game. I'm very curious
oh my
because
god,
you like good stories.
Yeah,
my girl,
I
she
was-
keeps on telling me to play
Reload.
Persona 3. I told her no.
I'm considering jumping into Persona, but hey, we got what 24 more days till Rebirth drops.
Yeah,
Yeah, so-
exactly.
So,
If you don't like God powered Batman, you can shoot him in the face as Harley Quinn on Suicide Squad.
so I'll
Get 'em done.
I'll probably beat Rebirth again while also I'll definitely beat Remake again leading up to it while also finishing up hard mode on Final Fantasy 16. Cuz I'm like halfway through on that hard mode.
That's easy. All you need is Zangosto and leveling it up to level 4, and it's over.
You talking about Bahamut? Mega Flare?
That move where you kill the entire screen, but you gotta level it up with your circle. That move.
You talking about Bahamut with the Mega Flare?
No. Odin.
Odin?
Yeah.
Yeah, that move is
Odin.
that
Odin his move. His
Yeah.
strongest move. That's what
Yeah.
you gotta go for.
That's okay. I think Mega Flare is stronger personally.
Really?
Yeah.
Mega Flare is stronger against single enemy, while the other one is against mobs in general.
No, the Mega Flare is the one where you like let it charge up to level 4, and then the Xander.
That take way too long. That's
No,
the
it
issue with
just
Mega
takes
Flare.
3 quick dodges when you're like dealing with waves of enemies. It's quick. It's quicker than charging up your sword level 5. I do both.
Mhm.
I drop them with the dragon first, and then I switch over to Odin, and then while they're getting pumped with all that, I charge it up level 5, and then I do that and knock everyone all out. But yeah, that's probably what I'll be playing up until then. I'll probably sprinkle in some other games in between then. Like I jumped back into Hi-Fi Rush and cleared the first
Didn't
level.
you already beat that?
Yeah, I jumped back into that.
You've been playing a lot of old games again, man. What's going
Well,
on?
it's not really
Yeah.
old.
You
It
got to
came,
move on?
it came out last
almost-
year. It's not that old.
It's almost as if there is a drought in
No, I got games to play.
It's not a
This
it's not a
one-
drought. He's limited himself.
Yeah, he's limited himself.
Yeah, I got games
He
to
loved
play. I got games to play.
I mean, like you have new games that you could play, but it's like you really
yeah.
you trying-
It's
Persona.
not just like any.
Yeah, I'm waiting. I'll be jumping into Rebirth on the 29th.
I mean, next game for me is
That's
That's more of the same.
Are we jumping into
I'm
Rebirth on the
just saying.
29th?
I'm just saying, Helldiver 2 is coming out this week. Everyone's excited for that game.
Everyone on PC, maybe.
I'm
Wait,
excited
you
for
got
it.
you PlayStation people don't get it day one this week?
Yeah, they're getting it day one, but I don't think PlayStation people are going to be buying that in droves.
How do you know about that?
Because it started out as a PC. It started out as a PC game, so that's where most of its audience is.
Well, that is true, but I mean, PlayStation people seem to be happy about it, though.
The vocal social media portion of PlayStation Nation is, but I don't think it's gonna like do gangbusters.
Let's see.
Well, yeah, we will see.
I mean,
the funny
I'm still
thing
trying to play
is,
Evil West with you, Pharaoh. So maybe we could link up on Evil West.
I mean,
yeah, don't have him play trash now. Come on.
While we're talking about Helldivers, it's been a long intros. So let's
I mean, we only have 2 topics. Well,
yeah, but it's
one
cool.
major one, but okay.
Yeah, but you know that major topic is definitely going to give us plenty of time to talk about stuff. So so we'll jump into our first topic of today since we started going into the house that is Sony, and that would be boom state of play reactions, which Helldivers was at the state of play.
Yeah.
So I thought I'll kick it off by saying I thought state of play that this was actually the second showcase that was rumored. It felt very showcasey in how they presented the content and how some of the content, you know, was just like in development as opposed to like a typical state of play. It's typically games that are coming out you know, pretty soon. A lot of games didn't have dates or release windows. It just was in development for PlayStation 5. So I did feel like this was the secret showcase that insiders were talking about months ago. I think it just kind of released this particular month as opposed to the time frame that they were giving out. With that said, I'm gonna get the reactions from the panel. And I'm going to go to Kofi first and get his thoughts on the.
Usually, when I watch State of Play, there are large segments that are not for me, and I can typically focus on 1 or 2 titles that get me excited. I'll try to give an example. It was the beginning of 2022, I believe, when Star Ocean 6 was first announced, and somehow I wasn't on any sort of live stream at the time. I remember standing up and clapping. I was by myself in my house, and it was like, Star Ocean 6. I was like literally clapping, like Shia LaBeouf meme clapping. And, you know, I don't get that kind of reaction off of niche games or games that, you know, don't sell gangbusters, you know, very often. But I felt very reminiscent to that moment in early 2022 as I felt here in 2024. Because just throughout the show, I was like, I like that game. Oh, I am. Yeah, that game is, you know, go ahead and connect to my bank account because I'm getting that game. And oh, that is definitely on my radar. And oh, that's something really exciting. And it's been pretty rare that a state of play has done that to me. I've had, you know, TGS has done that to me, or maybe an E3, like a PlayStation or even old Xbox E3s, sure. And some Nintendo Directs, I've even been like, "Oh shoot, you know they getting this." I'll never forget Reggie. I was still so mad. I think I was off Twitter at the time, but when Front Mission was announced for Switch and it wasn't on PlayStation, I was like, "What is this? Where are we?" I was so salty. I was like, "Front Mission is a PlayStation title." So it was things like that have made me so upset. But anyway, yeah, you know, things like Rise of the Ronin, Koei Tecmo's, you know, the Ninja, the Team Ninja games. I just want them. Like Wolong, okay, I'm buying it. Neo 2, I'm buying it. It's an automatic purchase. And you know, Rise of the Ronin, I was like, oh, you know, you can come to my house, take the money, I'll send it to you in an envelope. Give me the game. So I'm very excited for that. In the open world and the fact that they could really hunker down and do something I think that they were trying to work on since Neo. I love the instanced rooms of Neo because I feel like they're very dynamic and the verticality is cool. And Wolong had better verticality, even more so than Neo. But this, the concept of a different type of architecture, a different era. There are guns. It reminds me of Onimusha 2, where you could work with I forget what are the characters that Jubei could work with. I think his name is like Magoichi Saiga or something like this, and he was like a gunman, and you could basically work with him if you played the story correctly. That era was always so cool, and so like the style of possibly doing combat and having like primitive guns in the gameplay loop. Ooh, I just get chills.
All right, all
I
right.
thought that I'm going on a long time. I'm sorry.
No, you're
I thought
good.
Silent Hill. Okay, yeah, there's lots I can say more. Silent Hill landed about where I thought Silent Hill was. Goober Team I'm sorry, Bloober Team.
Yeah, Goober
I
Team.
don't-
You're right. You're right. You're right. Because it did not look
It is a
good.
Goober.
I don't
yeah,
like
you
them.
got it right.
I don't like them, and I saw Medium, and I'm okay with Medium because like I feel like that's them doing their own unique IP, and they're trying to bring ambiance, and I'm fine with and the game got like a 6. I almost feel like at least for the duration I played, they probably like deserve that. That's fine. But for them to take on Silent Hill, which I feel like is a precious IP within the horror fan community, I feel like that's a huge miss on Konami. I feel like Konami hired Bloober because one, they probably didn't have much work, and two, they probably were very affordable. Right? They could have, I don't know, figured out a way to pay maybe double, but to do honor to one of your most popular franchises and one of the most popular titles in the
Now,
entire series.
I will say I will give you a little bit of pushback right here because I
Okay, go
said
ahead.
that Silent Hill didn't look good, and you said
I-
what?
I did?
That's what you said to me. Yeah, you gave me pushback on that one, so I got to give you pushback right here, right now.
Okay, so I think what I was looking at was the enemies to me presented well. The weird shakiness and the creepiness and the visual ambiance made me think, okay, they got the ambiance right. But you know what really pissed me off? The sound design. When he was shooting the gun and swinging his weapon, the gun sounded like a pea. I don't know what it sounded. It sounded like I made it with my mouth. I didn't know what was going on. I was like, how could you not have a shotgun sound anything like that? And then when he would swing and hit the characters or the enemies, I don't even think there was like a legitimate like flesh curdling sound. It just sounded like I was hitting wood, like a log lightly. So I think it just threw me off. But I think like the visual and the seeing them shake and the overall like area looked fine, but then the character model, like besides the enemies, the main character just didn't move in a satisfying way to me.
Yeah,
so I
he
think
looked
maybe
horrible.
that was
His hair looked horrible. Like everything about him just looked like fucking trash.
yeah. I just give him like points for ambiance, but I don't think that game is going to be very good. Other things, okay, of course. I did want to talk about this. Okay, so of course we have to talk about Korean developed game Stellar Blade.
It's Stellar
Visual-
Yam. No,
Stellar
how to say
Yams.
it.
Can I get to the yams?
Yeah.
Sweet yams. No, anyway, so yeah, definitely liking the gameplay. I like the breakdown of what the world is generally about at a high level, giving us some, interesting character interactions, letting us hear, these characters kind of talk to each other, get a feel for what this world's going to be like. I think it's going to be a pretty successful game, obviously based on some obvious things, being like an action game and having a very appealing character. But what I love so much about this game is there is a old JRPG franchise that was on PlayStation 2 and surprisingly Xbox 360, and it died. And I found that the key character designer worked on these two titles, and as soon as I saw the art of those games, I said, that is the same guy. And I can't remember his name, but I know Pharaoh, you might know this, but I know Nappy, you're gonna know this. It was the title called Magna Carta. Do you guys remember that? Magna Carta,
Yeah.
and there was a 360 sequel called Magna Carta 2. And one of my favorite things
I do
about
remember
this
Magna
title,
Carta 2 for sure.
yes, the character art to me was some of the coolest. It just had like this I don't know, this dazzling appeal.
Oh.
And that same character designer now runs the studio that is
I
shipped
remember
up.
Magna Carta.
You remember it,
Yeah.
right? And I was like, yo,
I just
that's
had to look
him.
I had to look at the game cover, and I was like, oh
Yeah.
shit.
Like it looked just like her, right? So I was like, yo,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
let's go.
Stellar Blade,
So-
I thought it showed well.
It showed well. I mean, literally, like ever since Magna Carta died, I'm like, that guy needs to work for some game. Like, I don't care what JRPG he makes next. Hire him to design things and make things like that, because that is an aesthetic that can be appreciated in its own space. So finally, he gets like that nod from somebody. I don't care who the publisher was. I mean, I'm glad it's PlayStation, but if Xbox had picked it up, if it was some Epic Store exclusive, that is so great. I'm happy for him because
I think the
I
only
wish
knock
that series.
I had personally on Stellar Blade was when they were going over like the city that the game's gonna like the hub that you're in the city of. It's just sent like they made it sound like a lot of the characters in the city are just gonna be sending you on random fetch quests. Like, that was probably that was my only negative that I thought when I saw what they showed on the State of Play.
Yeah. No, you know, so obviously I gotta address like DS2, Death Stranding 2. I think
And
this is
the
the game
other
for me.
unannounced game as well.
Yeah, of course. I will address that as well. I think here's the thing. I love Kojima's direction, just how he tells stories. I know that, you know, we're in cutscenes talking about the Lali Lule Low, and we don't know what is going on. I forget if Reggie hates or love this, but
I love the Lale Lule.
I just eat it up. And my experience watching the DS2 cutscenes where the woman has hands for a mask, I'm like, what is even happening right now? But I am so
Kojima is
engrossed.
on them, you know, on the smoke, if you know what I mean.
Oh, right. Yeah, exactly. Like anything I see, I'm like, I am invested. I want to know what's happening. These cutscenes do not put me to sleep. You know, I'm sure people know slow-mo backslap in the gaming community and how he hates Kojima's cutscenes. He's like, this is just the biggest piece of trash, and why am I sitting here? I'm eating it up. I'm eating it like it's my favorite cereal in the morning. So I'm ready for it. Okay, yeah. So moving on. Yeah, the spiritual successor to Metal Gear Solid apparently is going to be in development by Kojima Productions and will probably start on PlayStation. I don't want to say it will only be on PlayStation, but I mean, there's a really good chance it'll be on PlayStation only for a while.
For at least a year. I give it a year or 2 years.
Yeah.
Bless me. Sorry, guys.
No, bless you. You know, very excited for Kojima. I want Kojima to take advantage of whatever, you know, resources or opportunities he's thinking of for this game. I'm sure there are some limitations around the Metal Gear franchise that he went through, right? Where he probably wanted to do weird things, but you have to stick with Snake because, you know, Snake will get you sales. This kind of gets him that clean slate. He could, I mean, he's going to do something weird, right? I don't know. Maybe he hasn't had a female lead in any game he's ever made, right? Zone of the Ender? Yeah, no, there's no game.
Zoe was a boy.
Yeah, Zoe was a guy. So he might do something just off color.
How do you feel about
wonky.
that particular game not maybe being really a game? He called it more of an interactive film.
Because they were like doing it in the Columbia studios and everything. He said.
Well, he said he said it was an interactive film. I mean, maybe it translated differently because you heard it directly from him as opposed to but in the translation, he made it very clear it's more of an interactive film than it is.
I'll go back and look at it.
Like, yeah,
I'll definitely look. Yeah, I'll definitely go back and look at what he said. I think when I think of like a lot of his titles, I play his games for both. And I love Metal Gear Solid 4. It's one of my favorite games. But I don't know if I'm like, oh, the gameplay of Metal Gear Solid 4 is like the best thing ever. I don't know if I'm saying that. I'm just saying
but you're cool with it being more of a movie than a game. And I think that's kind of because that's kind of what he wants anyway.
Metal Gear Solid 4, but I'm going to kind of say I kind of appreciate Metal Gear Solid 4 for those same reasons. Like its storytelling and moment-to-moment narrative matter just as much as gameplay. It's not like a Monster Hunter situation for me where I'm like, I need good gameplay from a Metal Gear game. It's just not. expectations, I guess. Like I have all these games I play for story, right? I did 15 RPGs in 12 months last year, so I'm getting story like on every plate I look at.
I hear you, but I was just wondering, was there any concern there? It being like an action espionage that you may not really be able to play much in the way that you may want to. I should say.
Like I would say this: if it was like, not that game. What am I thinking of? What's the games by Quantic Dream?
I don't
Forgetting
know.
the name.
Control.
Oh,
No,
Detroit. Detroit. It's like Detroit.
I was like, Control is Remedy.
I don't necessarily want it like Control, but I don't know what I'm getting. So I'm not going to say if it's like Detroit, trash. Because I'm guessing he's going to do something very
I think it's going to be
and
good.
he wants to get into film. And I'm sure that he wants a show, right? He would want like some sort of spinoff where like, here's the actual show and here's the game. And I can now expand into film because of this new IP, which is a dual income property.
I feel like this game plus OD is kind of like his pitch to Hollywood that I can transition.
Yeah.
Movies. And I'm glad you thought about it, Kofi, because Metal Gear 4 is probably the closest thing I would say is like, this is mostly a visual story game with sometimes you get to play.
Exactly. Exactly. That's what MGS4, and I loved it. So I'm like, all right, like, bring it on, Kojima.
Okay.
I'm trying to think what one other thing at the State of Play.
We had Dragon Dogma 2. You had Judas. That was a big game.
Gosh. Yeah, Dragon's Dogma 2. I never really got a chance to play the first one. I was hoping that you were going to give us some feedback on the cast if you had gotten to it last year. But I am hyped for 2. The fact that it's single player and, like they stuck to their guns and focused their game design around a single player experience, I'm all about it. So I think it's going to be a very solid game. The fact that it comes out in March near Rise of the Ronin.
Same day as Rise of the Ronin, not near. Same day.
March 27th.
But Dragon Dogma is not exclusive, so remember that.
That's true. It's just like, gosh, like wow, man. What a time to be blessed with some great games.
You had the vampire game as well.
The vampire game.
I was shocked that came on PlayStation.
And then you had that
because that's like it was on PC for the longest.
And then you had the game that is made by the Genshin Impact people.
Zenless Zone Zero.
Yeah, Zenless Zone Zero.
Zenless Zone Zero. I'm not gonna get into Genshin. I'm not gonna get into Honkai. So I'm like, ugh.
Yeah, Zenless Zone Zero. I thought it looked amazing, but once I saw it was made by them folks, I was like, yeah, I'm out.
Yeah.
You go the gacha mechanics. Oh my god, it's bad.
Yeah.
But any other thoughts, Kofi?
I think that's it. I'll step away and let somebody else get their take.
All right. I'm gonna bounce it down to Omar. What were your thoughts on this State of Play?
Oh yeah, this show was a 9 for me. At first, I gave it a 10, but I went back to the 9 because they didn't reveal a new IP. But other than that, between the breakdown for Blade and actually getting a release date for it.
I thought you got a release date for Stellar Blade in the spring.
Not for
spring summer.
I remember.
Okay.
No. At any case, Stellar Blade is day 1. Death Stranding. Oh boy, that was another thing that I'm like, Kojima, what are you on? But I'm already told. I already love Death Stranding 1. So the more of it, give me please. The partnership between Kojima and PlayStation is interesting because this is absolutely a PlayStation 6 game, or the very least, end generation PlayStation 5 game.
I think people underestimate how long this generation is going to go on.
From the leak, both PlayStation and Xbox wanted to release their console in 2027, 2028 or something like that.
Yeah, I don't think that's happening. That's just me personally.
So we're going to see what's happening with that.
I think 2031 is the earliest we get new consoles.
2031?
Yes.
I mean,
so we get
a lot of stuff, so we will see.
if
Next-
if a PlayStation
what-
if a PlayStation 5 Pro is coming out this year as rumored, they're not releasing a new console in 2027.
What?
We will
Well-
see.
the thing
Apparently-
about
You're not
it
gonna
is,
release
it's,
you're not gonna release a Pro in 2024 and then release a next gen console like 2 or 3 years later.
Apparently, Xbox next gen console is behind on time because of a deal. They didn't sign up with.
They
a
didn't sign
certain
with they
manufacturer.
didn't sign with a chip maker until recently.
Yeah,
So I wouldn't
So-
expect the Xbox console until the earliest 2029. I mean, if we're
I give it 2020. I would say that's a good
but I would
guess.
say if PlayStation is serious about releasing a PS5 Pro, I don't see them releasing a console 3 years after their Pro model drops.
we will see.
Wow.
But other than that,
I wouldn't see. I mean, how many years after the PS4
mean,
Pro
I-
did you get
I
a
think
PlayStation 5?
4
I
years.
think it,
So
I think it's all gonna be depending on what Xbox move is with this whole rumor. Because if they're going all digital, that's gonna do some
well,
stuff.
PlayStation's gonna go
they
all
did-
digital on the next console. The next console's not gonna have any physical disc.
If they ditching consoles altogether, that's gonna be very interesting.
Well, we
to
already
see.
know they signed with a chip maker, so we already know they're not ditching consoles altogether.
But going back to it, Judas was a very interesting game. I don't recall playing the Bioshock franchise, but I'm aware of it. I've watched a ton of gameplay of it. This might be my first entry into Bioshock. Well, quote unquote, Bioshock is Judas now. Other than that, another IP I'm super excited about, Rise of the Ronin. But I gotta ask Kofi.
Mhm.
It seems that they have went for gameplay over visuals because the game doesn't look that doesn't look that good.
I don't think they went gameplay over visuals. I just think
I
Team Ninja, their games typically aren't like gorgeous visually.
well, I would say
Neo was
Wolong wasn't gorgeous. Or did they make Wolong?
yes, they did.
Neo
But,
was good
but
looking.
in their defense, the Wolong game started under Omega Force, and then whatever Team Ninja assisted.
Yeah.
So really, that was an Omega Force start again. That's why some of the mechanics are a little bit simple.
But I'm just saying it wasn't this gorgeous. Wolong wasn't this gorgeous game.
But no,
It wasn't
like
carried by
Neo
visuals.
was.
but to
Neo
Omar's
was.
point, yeah, Neo has some like
But how long
beautiful
ago was Neo? How long ago?
2018, 2021, 2020 or 2021?
The last
2020.
Neo game came out in 2021?
Yeah. No, was it 2022?
Oh, Neo 2. Yeah, Neo 2 was fairly recent.
Yeah, Neo 2 is pretty
Yeah,
recent.
Neo Feel was very recent. So
Neo 2 was 2020.
Okay, it's 2020.
It came around the same time as didn't that Strangers of Paradise demo?
Strangers of Paradise.
So that was a last gen.
that was more recent.
That was a last gen
Oh,
game.
okay.
But I say I know they didn't release no Neo 2
But
on PlayStation 5.
no.
They remastered it, or like they have an upgrade.
Yeah.
But no, like to like your point, Omar, I think the reason why the visuals don't exactly pop like Neo did is the scope of the environment and all of the architecture that is, I guess, what we've seen in that exploratory space. When they're flying through the area, and I'm looking at all those buildings up in the town, I'm thinking, okay, to match the scale of everything they're running around in, they can't scale it back like it was, back in the day at Monster Hunter with these isolated zones, or like Neo 2, these, basically like 4 or 5 room zones that are interesting and vertical and have lots of enemies. But now you have to, I guess, think of regular people. Like we're in an area now, there's towns, right? There's just random people walking around, and that type of, I don't know, requirements.
And also there is verticality in it as well.
Right, exactly. And the verticality is like Neo, but it's not just
And-
enemies that kill you on sight. It's now like characters that talk to you or
Yeah.
sell you things. So
And there is also a heart. And all 3 ways are seamless transition between all
Right.
of them.
right.
So I understand. This is why I said they went for the gameplay over graphics.
They
Well,
definitely
What I
did.
meant.
That's what I think.
I definitely agree with both of y'all, but also it was kind of surprising to me in the sense, when you work with Sony first party or Sony SIE, I was expecting a little bit more visual polish, even with those choices.
But we have never had
Yeah.
to such.
Like I was expecting it to look like a
reach.
Ghost of Tsushima.
No, it's not. But remember, Ghost of Tsushima had never had any verticality.
Yeah, but it's
to
still,
me-
but Ghost of Tsushima is still a last generation game. I would still like kind of.
The difference to me is that Tsushima never had complex architecture to deal with. So I'm very
I agree with
curious.
that
They
too,
have
because you can
talent.
like blow up buildings in Rise
Yeah.
of the Ronin, and you can't do that.
This is
anymore.
like modern times where there are actual like complex guns. Not
Also,
complex.
this game have multiple gameplay mechanics between seamless going from a horse to a glider to running and your hook shot and also team battles
Yeah.
and air battles. What I mean by that is
Yeah.
acrobatic. Like this game has a lot of mechanics. That's why I said they went with less visuals and for the more gameplay mechanic aspect of it,
Yeah, like
which
Starfield.
is going to be simple, interesting. The only gripe again I have with it is it's releasing on the same day as Dragon Dogma 2.
Hey,
That's
if
the
you
biggest.
think you can, that's what competition is.
That's the biggest stupid move from PlayStation. Especially if you know that Dragon Dogma 2. I'm not
Hey.
sure if they have what you call it marketing rights with Dragon Dogma 2, but it's absolutely a stupid move to do so.
Sometimes 50 Cent and Kanye West got to drop their album on the same day. Sometimes it got to go like that.
I mean, okay, so other than that, I'm super, super, super stoked as a Dogma fan with this new feature. I don't know if you've seen it, Nappy, but not apparently. You now can switch on the fly between two different classes from the same
Or-
character.
That's actually, yeah, I heard about that. That's actually a big bonus because I've been
So
sticking with one character.
yeah, so a mage can suddenly start hitting an enemy with a hammer or something like that. Like that shit was surreal when they did it. Went from a mage to an archer or a weapon of uh, um, a buster sword in the same instant. I truly love that concept. The only again another issue I have with Dragon Dogma is apparently there's no fast travel. Yes, there is portals that you can go through, but apparently the developers don't want you to fast travel. They want you to experience the world.
Walk.
I'm like,
Yeah,
that.
Dragon Dogma, walk.
I'm like, that's fucking stupid, dude. So
Yup.
I'm gonna.
You're gonna miss. Hey, they got enough. I'm pretty confident they have enough content in there for. They have a reason why they want you to walk.
Yeah, but still, if you wanna, very quick, finish a quest, you should have the ability to fast travel. Like, make it like Insomniac did. Make it that it's a choice whether you want to do it or not.
Hey,
So that's
it's just like
another.
having an easy mode,
Not per se,
It's
but
up the developer. It's all developer preference.
so besides that, um, I think yeah, that's about it for State of Play. Like for the most part, I never was bored while watching it. And beside the shovelware for me, that was the VR stuff. The showcase was great. It
Yeah.
just needed a one last showing for something new, a reveal trailer for something new, and this would have been a 10 for me.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna throw it on up to the Jubei for the oop. What were your thoughts on this State of Play?
Um, one of the better ones. It's still a 6.5 to me.
Okay, that's what I gave it.
I don't give a fuck about Helldivers. I just don't.
Aw, man, it's but Helldivers was such a good top-down co-op game.
No, shut up.
The shooting loop kind of looked a little.
No, I can't wait for the shooting. I just love you. I know when that game comes out, for all the people who don't normally play Helldivers, don't be reloading like crazy. It's gonna be funny when you reload and you realize that you lose all the bullets in the magazine. It's gonna be hilarious.
It just
after you,
it looked like you just hold on to right trigger and just like walk around and mow everything down. That's what it looked like.
Part of it.
That's what it looked like.
There's actually missions to it too. It's a fun co-op game. Like I'm
sure it has some fun aspects to it.
Plus, it's not a full. It's like $40.
Is it? I thought it was a full 70.
No, it's like $40.
Maybe on. Are you sure? I'll look on the PS
I'm
app
positive
right now.
that's what it is on Steam.
Well, it's a great value title, is what you're saying.
$40 on PlayStation.
Oh, it's 40 on PlayStation. Okay, I thought it was the full 70.
Yeah. Oh no! If it was a full 70, we'll have a completely different conversation.
Okay.
I would have been like, what the fuck?
But yeah, keep going.
Yeah, I did like what I saw from Death Stranding too. That looks really cool. Still mad confused, but it looks cool.
Yeah, I thought the combat looked really good in Death Stranding.
Yeah, it looked like an improvement from the first game. Rise of the Ronin doesn't look polished enough for me to care. So we'll see. Outside of that, like I said, it's just there wasn't really much there that I was like, oh yeah, I gotta get on that silent fucking blooper team. I'm gonna start calling them blooper team because they suck ass. I'm sorry, they do.
I don't think they suck ass, but I was expecting them to take the next step.
Bro.
I was expecting them to take the next step. The medium was not horrible. It wasn't great, but it wasn't horrible.
The medium is still a mid game. They are a C-level developer. That is their ceiling.
I was expecting them to take a step up when they got the Silent Hill license. I agree. It is disappointment, but
they'll never be more than that. So it is what it is.
I have faith. I have faith in growth for everyone.
Hopefully, maybe, but no. I still don't see it. So yeah, I mean, cool show. What whatever it is.
Okay.
Nothing to write home about. Could have honestly did without it if we're being real.
Oh.
Stellar Yams though is definitely gonna.
I can't believe Jubase is the first person to bring up Stellar Blade. Well, he's actually not.
No, he's not the first one. He's the third. He's the third one. Everyone's brought it up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Zero. I was gonna get your thoughts on the state of play.
I liked it. It was cool. All of the not Silent Hill. Death Stranding 2 looks fantastic. I've never played the first one, so that inspired me to go play the first one. Like,
okay.
There's some dude shooting energy blasts from his guitar while also wielding it like a sword while fighting what I'm assuming is a baby and a giant robot. Sign me up. Like that's what I'm about. That's what I'm here for when it comes to video games. Dragon's Dogma looked fun. I played the first one way back in PS3. So I'll see how that goes. But that's another game that feels like it's going to take a lot of my time. So who knows? I'll be playing Phone Stars drops this week, right?
Yes, it's a PS Plus game, I believe.
Yeah. So I'll actually probably be trying out Phone Stars. I played the demo. I wasn't terribly impressed, but we'll see how it goes. It could be a fun thing. I am torn between Judas. I don't know what's going on with Ken Levine and all the stuff that he's done, because I feel like he's been trying to make this game for quite some time. He's also one of those folks who really want to make movies. His part of his story is that he came to Hollywood to make movies, failed at it or didn't get it, and then started making video games and wound up with BioShock. But Judas, we'll see. Keep my eye on it. BioShock's one of my favorite games of all time. But I'm just gonna keep an eye on Judas just to see. I don't know how I feel about it just yet.
These guys just
I don't.
make good. If you make good IP, Hollywood's searching for you. So just make a good IP for on the gaming side. You'll get picked up.
Maybe. Yeah, you might be right. It all depends on how well is Hollywood appreciative of your efforts, or are they just chasing trends?
They're chasing Trent. They don't want to
Yeah.
take any risk right now. So if you got if you got a if you got a hot song, they going to take it. Run with it.
Exactly. And you know how these auteurs like to be, like they want to be respected as directors. Like, no, man, you're just sort of the labor of the month. And believe me, if it wasn't profitable to make video game movies, they would not let you make movies.
Yeah, I think you're only gonna have one Neil Druckmann situation, and that's because he has
Exactly.
the power of the Sony brand behind him, who also makes
Yes.
films.
Movies and films, yeah.
So,
Exactly.
That's like
Maybe Kojima can squeeze his way through, but
yeah, Kojima maybe, but I don't think that's gonna be the case across the
Across the
industry.
board, yeah.
That they pick up
Yeah.
your IP. I don't think the Gears team is gonna have that much say in whatever Netflix is doing with Gears.
no, yeah. So
Yeah.
we'll see how it goes. Silent Hill, I still remain unimpressed. I still stand by my guns that
Did anyone
I
play
don't
the
think-
free to play that dropped?
Nope.
Right after the show. Okay, because there was two
The short
Silent Hill
message,
games.
right?
They showed
Yeah.
the game, and then they
I
had the little
downloaded
first
it.
person.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
Sure.
downloaded it, but yeah, too many games to play right now, so that's on the back burner.
The first person looked better than what Bloober Team was showing us.
I mean, the PT demo looked better than what Bluer Team was giving. I don't know, man. Like, I really don't think people are checking for Silent Hill anymore. Like, maybe back in the day, but people like action adventure, which is probably why it's now a bit more action adventure. People like sort of more action adventure games. The sort of odd, cerebral, open-ended story of Silent Hill 2. I don't
think
know if
people
people
realize
want to
that
go
Silent
for.
Hill was never really that. It was like the baby brother to Resident Evil, but it wasn't like this huge game. It did well.
Yeah, but also like narratively, functionally different than Resident Evil. Like
Yeah.
Resident Evil is your quote unquote run of the mill like monster action movie. That is not what Silent Hill has traditionally been about.
Yeah.
So we'll see how people want to accept it. I'm still not convinced people are wanting it.
Same here.
I'm surprised you didn't even bring up Sonic and Shadow Generations. I really liked Sonic Generations. I thought that was a really fun little game.
I might have to get that for my sons.
Yeah,
I think
so,
people,
like,
I think
really
people in
tough.
general stayed off of the third party It's Everywhere games.
maybe that's what it is.
The E
Like
for
I really
everyone's.
like Sonic.
They
Yeah,
look
like
good.
that. Yeah, Sonic Generations is fun.
Yeah.
It's interesting they used it as a remake though, and they did it right when Sonic 3 is going to come out in theaters because they are the biggest thing is they added Shadow the Hedgehog and they are fixing up his story with his plot with all the plot holes he had.
That's that solid vertical integration right there.
So,
we know Sega's
so it just
Sega's in full remake mode at the moment, so I'm not shocked.
yeah.
And finally, the star of Stellar Blade is going to create a lot of think pieces online.
I think it was the star of the show, but I don't know if it's going to be like a 10 million plus seller.
I think it'll be fun. Like,
I think it's going to sell.
Yeah, I think it's
going to
do
do
I'm
well.
just saying, while it was the star of the show, I don't think it's going to be the best selling game at that show. Is kind of what I was saying.
Like, and it's direct competition in the universe of video games. It's definitely Bayonetta to an extent. But like
We
it
don't
or
have a
Nier or
Bayonetta.
but like it's this very
yeah,
interesting.
Meta and Nier at the same time.
Yeah.
Two franchises that are kind of resting at this point.
Yeah. But I'm sure everybody will be looking forward to playing dress up with this nice Stellar Blade. What is her name? Did they said her name, right?
Her name is Yams.
Yams.
Call her Yams.
I love
Call
the
her
confidence. Her name is Yams.
Honestly, if they really should have leaned into it and just like made it like an acronym YAMZ and it stand for some nonsense word.
It may be in attack mode in the game. You don't know yet.
Yams in attack mode.
By the way,
I think nobody will move out the way.
Her character model is based on a Korean model.
Is it?
One.
I didn't
Yeah.
know that.
Yeah, they've been
Ah.
like showing pictures of the Korean model on
Oh,
Twitter a lot.
Rest in
yeah.
peace to that woman's DMs. I'm so sorry, lady. Rest in peace. Oh, by the way, though, Omar, it comes out on the 26th.
Yeah, April,
Stellar
right?
Blade. Yeah, April 26th. So you got time. But you know, the star of the show for me was the return of an old friend, the Until Dawn remaster. I'm here for this. I'm here for it.
I love
I'm
the
here for it,
game. Y'all know I love the game. I talk about it a lot, but that's such a L. Like to just keep doing all these damn.
I lost my save file of that game on PS4. It's the only game I've really lost a save file in a long time. So
Don't you have a save file for it on cloud?
yeah, it was weird. Like when I went up to the cloud and downloaded it, this is back on PS4. Like not even trying to run backwards compatibility. It was corrupted. Like I would download it and it wouldn't load.
Oh, snap.
Did you trade in your PS4 or you still got it?
Never did. Yeah, never did. I don't know what happened.
I
It's
was
like
about to
the only save file I've lost since the PlayStation 4 launched. Since 2013, one save file, and it's that game.
Yeah, I have a tech graveyard and everything all the way back to like Sega Genesis and Super NES is like back there in the tech graveyard.
Yeah, so I'm happy. Like I can't imagine. It has to be the show, right? Like that's why this is happening. Because as much as I enjoy Until Dawn, as much as I think a lot of people enjoyed Until Dawn, it felt like it was a thing that came and.
Well,
You know, that
it
was just
didn't
one
it
of
didn't do
those-
very well commercially. So I mean, I think it
yeah, it
makes
couldn't.
sense.
I don't think people knew what it was. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it makes sense to up-res and put it back out. Like but
Yeah. I'm hype. I love that game. Can't wait for it. I wonder if they'll add anything different or interesting. I find it very funny that it's also just an up-resed version. So it's just like an up-resed version of when does this game come out?
18?
18 maybe? So it's
Oh,
2018 version of Hayden Panettiere and 2018 versions of Rami Malek. Instead of just recircling back to get the cast back together again, especially because I'm sure they all look noticeably different. So, but I will never stop raving about Until Dawn. It's the perfect couples game. Well, no,
it
it's
actually
the
came out in
second most perfect.
2015 is when it came out.
Yeah, I remember it was old. It's an old game.
Yeah, that's close.
And really just because like Rami Malek had just started doing Mr. Robot, and the guy in there is from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. And that show was like maybe in its second season when the game came out.
But it's a fantastic game. If you haven't played it, play the PS4 version. Don't wait for the remake because it's not really going to be much different. And enjoy it.
Yeah, I'm assuming it just looks prettier.
Yeah, but the game is already pretty.
Yeah, just like a
game is
little extra sheen on it. So yeah, like I like the show. We still wait to see. It's a good kickoff to at least the year so far from the Sony side. I know this is just like stuff we already knew was coming for the most part. So I guess their next state of players probably won't be around to spring, whatever next they want to do with it.
Well, the next day of play is tomorrow.
Oh, not including Final
I
Fantasy.
wouldn't really
Not
call that
watching
a
it.
state of play. I would just call that a Final Fantasy 7 remake event.
Not
Or like, or what's a ramp up?
Yeah,
Let me ramp you guys up real quick. Let's
like
talk
it's
about.
literally just one game. We're showing you one game, and we're gonna release a demo at the end of it.
I'm debating whether or not I'm gonna watch it. I think I am.
I mean,
the demo is gonna
at
be
this
right there
point of
immediately
time,
following.
they have shown everything that it is to see, like all the characters, all the everything. So I'm not sure how can you protect yourself from spoilers if you have watched everything else beforehand. That's
Don't
what I'm
watch
trying
it.
to-
I don't think.
watch it, yeah.
Well, I don't think they're
I'm
really
not
showing
watching
you anything that's gonna be. Well, I think they're leaning into the fact that there are no real spoilers of what they are showing you. Because
I mean, they showed every single character. They didn't leave a single thing.
okay,
So they
but
don't
even
mind
in
spoilers.
the even in the key arts that they have, you see every single character from Sid, Vincent, Kat,
Yeah,
Keishi. I mean, that is it's not a shocker.
That's the only thing I don't consider spoilers is seeing a character.
But even
Yeah,
like
other
showing
than
like
we know who these
locations,
folks
like if they
are.
show like Casa
Yeah.
del Sol or Golden Sauce, like if you played Final Fantasy,
We knew this was coming.
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
we
Like,
knew this was coming.
it's no real
Mm.
spoilers per se.
Spoiler for me.
I would expect
Spoiler
them
for
to
me.
maybe answer some of the questions that you had when we were talking about in the chat. Pharaoh,
Yeah,
about,
I think the spoilers
does
would be
your gear
in.
carry over? What about your stats?
Yeah,
And maybe drop one or two like, oh, Sora from Kingdom Hearts might show up type of energy things. Where it's like, oh, I didn't know that was happening.
but yeah, I don't think there's spoilers that they show. That I don't think they've showed any spoilers. I think the spoilers will be in. I think the difference is going to be what they add to the story, not necessarily locations or characters that they shown.
Like,
But I haven't
Nova
really
and
watched the
Sephiroth's
trailers myself
father.
either. Like I haven't. Well, we already know who Sephiroth's father is. But we're not going to talk about that because not everybody has played the original Final Fantasy. So
I mean, what if they switch it up? Now it's Genova.
that's
What
not,
if Genova reproduces asexually like Godzilla?
no,
from
that's
Godzilla
not. Well,
99.
that's not how it worked.
I'm just saying, let's throw these stories. Let's throw theories out here.
Stop playing with people's heads here, Zero. Because then Vincent's story is null and void. So we're not gonna get too deep into that. So I don't think they really dive into that into
Well,
the
Vincent
remake.
was a time traveler vampire. He shows up in Final Fantasy 9 if you do the secret ending.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sounds good. But yeah, any other thoughts on the state of play?
Nah, good show, man. Nice to start the year off with excitable things and looking forward to them.
Yeah, I definitely think it was Sony's best show in probably like 2.5 years. Yeah, definitely. Nappy, what were your thoughts? But also got to ask a separate question because there was a lot of smack talk amongst the PCMR about FPS and on a certain game, and we found out that certain game, Dragon Ball Dogma 2, is 30 FPS on PC too. So what are your thoughts on the state of play and Dragon Dogma being 30 FPS across the board?
State of play, I think it was okay. Like I said, I love seeing Dragon Ball 2's gameplay. Helldivers 2 is something I'm kind of excited about. Me and my friends, we love Helldivers 1, so Helldivers 2 is going to be one of those little fun multiplayer games that we get to play together and just putting in the codes and having drop ships land on your partners and just killing them off by accident. It's yeah. Also, the fact that when you reload your gun, if you don't use the whole magazine, you lose all those bullets, which I know is going to throw a lot of people off when they first get this game who didn't play Helldivers 1. So that's going to be fun watching them just kill an enemy with like 10 bullets and then just reload the mag and just lost their other 20. Overall, it looks pretty cool. There's a lot of games that I'm probably not going to play anytime soon. I don't get this. Fortunately, I see the yams, but yams only like PlayStation people. Yams
not
don't
PC
talk to
D&D?
anybody. Yams didn't talk about PC people. I didn't see no PC stuff.
Oh, okay.
Yams only messes with. It's like the girl at the bar who won't talk to you because you have an Android and she has an iPhone. She saw that green text and was like, "Ill." That's how Yams is right now. She saw my PC, my mouse and keyboard, and she was like, "Ill." So.
Okay.
Unfortunately, you PlayStation people can enjoy yams. Also, I did pay attention to Sonic Generations. That kind of stood out to me because I was wondering why they made a remake of that. And I noticed that they throw Shadow in there. Then I immediately put the two together that the Sonic 3 movie's coming out as the game coming out. One of the biggest things that makes sense to me is because Shadow the Hedgehog had a very convoluted story with a lot of open plots. I used to be a big Sonic fan when I was a kid. I remember when Shadow came out in Sonic Adventures 2, then we had Sonic Heroes, then we had Shadow the Hedgehog. And his story I always thought his story needed to be reworked because he was just like, we don't even, like at first they basically made it seem like he wasn't the real Shadow after Adventures 2, but unfortunately you have to beat the Shadow the Hedgehog game 10 times just to figure out that was the real Shadow. Which nobody probably did with the original Shadow the Hedgehog game. So I'm kind of looking forward to Sonic Generations just because I'm just curious to see how they fix up Shadow's story. But other than that, it was a pretty decent show. Nothing too crazy. Fortunately, I did not see Wolverine, so Insomniac, I hope you didn't have to restart from scratch.
Anytime soon.
I mean, I know because the code leaked for it, and there was like a somewhat playable demo, which was like really bare bones, but they said they had to redo the whole code from scratch, and that's terrible.
Yeah.
So, unfortunately for PlayStation people, that Wolverine game, I don't even know anymore. I don't know. That hack screwed you guys over. I think you guys should be honestly extremely pissed off about that Insomnia hack because now who knows when you're gonna see Wolverine
And your camera's real muddy, just so you know.
with this.
Yeah.
I'm more sad for the developers that left their information.
Yeah, they said it was not too much information got leaked as far as like the personal data and PII information is what they call it in the United States. That's personal identify information.
Oh.
But yeah, it's just sad. It's honestly sad overall just to see Wolverine not showing up anywhere, and it's possible true that they just restart from scratch.
Disney don't care. Pay that money.
You were expecting to see Wolverine here?
Well, I was curious because I know Wolverine was like in development for like the actual like development like software programming for like a good 2 years now. And ever since the leak happened and people got their hands on like a playable version of Wolverine, it was like one of the things Insomniac was saying was that they may have to restart from scratch with the coding and everything. And they already said it was going to set the game back. Heck, it even set off apparently Spider-Man 2 that was going to get a PC port is getting set back too now for some reason. I don't know why, but
yeah. Do I think Wolverine would have showed up here? I'm not sure, but being the nature of the show, being that it was more showcasey, I would say it was possible. I won't say it wasn't.
Yeah, it's just been shown off since day one of the PS5. So
I wouldn't, but I'm not saying. I'm saying I wouldn't. I wasn't necessarily expecting it, even without that leak. I'm not necessarily expecting it to be shown at this particular show. But is it possible? I would say it's possible. It was possible that it could have been there. Not definite.
yeah,
I still think the game was like, even without that leak, it was 2 or 3 years away.
I mean, we'll see. We can see. I mean, I looked at the Grand Theft Auto got leaked, and then a year later, we got a full-fledged game coming out. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's why I really feel bad for Wolverine game. It sucks. It sucks.
Yeah,
Hacking sucks.
yeah, but I'm not sure that with the timeline, I don't think it would have necessarily shown up at this particular event. If anything, it would have shown up at the summer event. I think that you would have saved that for your summer event.
All right, we'll see.
Yeah. Well, we will. But yeah, with that said, we can jump into the main topic of the day, the shit that got the internet going crazy. But let me get this timestamp first. Yeah, it took us 2 hours, but we made it here, people. And that topic is apparently there is a civil war going on inside of Microsoft. It's like ever since this ABK acquisition has taken place, and now that Xbox is the third most important business inside of all of Microsoft, there's a lot of people that have opinions on what to do with Xbox and its games. And apparently that has caused some spillage, to which we don't know exactly what is true and what isn't. But the Doomsday people will tell you that everything on Xbox is going multiplat. And the other side will tell you that nobody knows what they're talking about. And I think the sensible people are saying it's maybe somewhere in between. We're just going to wait and see. So internet's been buzzing. It's been buzzing probably since October, November, when Tim Stewart made his statements, and the rumors never really died. And it got to such a swell that we actually got a statement from Phil Spencer. And I just had it up, and somehow, Twitter refreshes and you lose it. So just give me a second with his exact statement. Very corporate-y. It says, we're listening and we hear you. We've been planning a business update event for next week where we look forward to sharing more details with you about our vision for the future of Xbox. Stay tuned. And with him saying that, without there being any type of marketing flyer or type of promo or anything like that, they didn't plan to tell us this next week.
Yeah,
This
that's an L.
this is not something that was planned. This is something that has gotten so much blowback that an official response is now necessary.
Mhm.
So with that being said, I'm going to start turning this over to some members of the panel to give their opinion on the state of affairs that is going on between Microsoft and Xbox, and kind of where people think this may go. Or I'm just let them go whatever with it, because this is a wide topic. We'll probably be here for a while, and I am going to kick it off with Jubei. Jubei, what are your thoughts on these rampant rumors that are going crazy at the moment?
You know, for real, like I said, I'm personally not. I'm still gonna get the games. You feel me? Like, people are acting like the fucking sky's falling. I understand. I get it. It's falling, sure, but I think some of that's overblown until we know more. Like, I personally can see them moving their games as a service stuff to other platforms. Like, if Halo ever comes to PlayStation, it's going to be the multiplayer. It won't be the campaign. It'll be the multiplayer because that makes sense. It's kind of hard to continue to have a console division if you're not going to give people incentive to buy it. So, like, they can't be like, yeah, all first party is going to go. Like, not. It's going to be selective, if anything.
I think.
But what?
I think what the Xbox heads would be missing out on, not the Xbox heads, the Microsoft heads, is that if they lose their console, they lose their store. And if you lose your store, not only are you losing that extra 30% revenue that you were getting from your first party sales where you get 100%, you're also losing all those 30% from the people who are buying the third party games on your platform.
Right. And we have to understand, this is a $1 trillion company. We're not going to sit here and pretend like they don't know how to make money. So
no, but they don't understand gaming.
They don't understand
Google
gaming.
knows how to. Google understands how to make money too. How did Stadia go? Shoot, Amazon knows how to make money. How is Twitch going? How is their Amazon Luna stuff going? They know how to make money. It's a difference.
Luna's still going.
It's still going, but is it making money? Those are two different things.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I just don't think it's as dire as people are making it out to be. You got motherfuckers like, yeah, like, take all these graphics. I'm like, yo, bro, suck a dick. Like, for real, you're crying. You're crying over nothing. This company owes you nothing. Their whole goal is to make money. They're not your fucking friend.
Yeah, don't worry about the fanboys. Just
it's just the
give me the talk about the Xbox.
Like, why are so many people invested? I'm not mad at the move, just because I'm like, they have other multi-platform games. Like, you know, you have Minecraft. Ori is a multi-platform game, regardless of the accolades that it has, as far as being a solid Xbox game. I want, like I said in the chat, I want Hi-Fi Rush everywhere. Like, I do. I want it to, like, explode. I want it to be absolutely everywhere. So I'm okay with that. Y'all can have it. Cool.
See, I
think it's going to look fantastic on the Switch. It's going to look great.
I thought Hi-Fi Rush. I don't know if I wanted the game everywhere, but I did want, like, because we know, like, a Guitar Hero was coming, and I would love for, like, Chai and 808 and then for them to be like, to be tied into that, and then kind of use that to kind of push people into Hi-Fi Rush on PC and maybe on the Xbox.
Yeah. Okay.
But I mean, I don't mind it showing up on other platforms, but I definitely thought Chai's next big appearance would not be its game being ported. I thought it would be him on Guitar Hero.
Mm.
That's kind of
Like
what
I
I
said,
was.
all this shit is still speculation until we see some stuff. And I also want to know, what are they getting in return for being able to put the show on other platforms? They're not just being like, yeah, we're just going to give this to you. There's got to be something coming from the other end.
I'm not sure because Jubei, their time to negotiate that was during the ABK thing when Jim Ryan was trying to get ZeniMax games in addition to ABK games when he was trying to negotiate that with Phil Spencer. So
Okay.
that was the
That doesn't mean,
time.
but you see, that doesn't mean that
Why
they're going to
would they
get
get
ZeniMax
something
games.
out of it? This is Microsoft move.
Well, we don't know what's going on. We don't know if Microsoft
We actually
No, we actually
Okay.
don't. We
don't.
have all we have
We
is
do not.
rumors. We
It's
don't
all
know
speculation.
anything. We for all we know, Microsoft and Sony have been, I mean, they are currently in court with the FTC. That's still going, that litigation is still going on. They could still be negotiating behind closed doors different things. We don't know that. I mean, there could be a world where 18 months from now, Gears of War is on PlayStation and God of War is on Xbox. We don't know. Like we have no
They
idea.
they can have the
The rumor
multiplayer, bro.
is
They're not going to get the campaign.
Yeah, the rumor is not PlayStation putting their games on Xbox and vice versa.
But the thing is, we don't know anything. I'm just saying we don't know. We're gonna find out. We're gonna find out exactly what Xbox is doing next week.
In a week. Yeah.
But we don't.
Who started this?
But I'm
Who
just
started
saying
these stupid rumors?
we don't know the full scope of how they got
Apparently,
here.
it was like
we don't know if Microsoft
apparently
is
it was
just
like a
saying
bunch
we're
of
going to put our
deadlines or
games
something.
here, or we don't know if
It's flag.
Microsoft is negotiating of I get this game and you get that game. Like we don't know the full breadth of what is going on.
PlayStation thinks Xbox are terrorists. They're not going to negotiate with them.
All I'm going to say is,
we can't say that because we know that Jim Ryan was trying to negotiate getting ZeniMax games in addition to ABK games. We know that we have official documentation of that. And I'm not saying that that's going on, but I'm just saying, I mean, if that's the case, maybe there is negotiation taking place that, you know, to get more games, and maybe there is a trade-off. I'm not saying there is, but I mean, you don't know. It's a scenario that is plausible because Microsoft is trying to break down the wall of exclusives in general. So if they're trying to break down the walls of exclusives, why wouldn't they approach Sony and say, "Hey, I'll give you Hi-Fi Rush, you give me whatever equivalent game that you'll have in your catalog." I don't know.
Because Sony is not trying to do that.
We don't know what Sony's trying to do. Their CEO just left.
So I have a question.
I mean,
why haven't we had a single thing about a rumor of Sony trying to get to put God of War on Xbox? Why is it?
I didn't say I did. Now, where did I say they're trying to put God of War on Xbox?
No. I said the rumor.
But
I didn't say the
where did I say that
rumor.
they were trying? I mean, it could be a smaller game. It could be Hi-Fi Rush for Concrete Genie for all you know.
Okay,
Like,
I got you. But why haven't we had anything from Sony camp? Why haven't we? Why is the rumor only from Xbox camp?
Where did the rumor start?
The rumor
that's why I want to know.
I can tell you where the rumor started. The rumor started from a dude named Nate Sahate. He was the one that actually leaked the state of play before it was even
these rumors started back in October, man. Like these rumors, it didn't start with no state of play. It started long before that.
I'm specifically talking about Hi-Fi. The rumor was Hi-Fi, and then it trickled over to what's it called?
You have people ran with it. They're like,
no.
And all this shit.
No. First it was Hi-Fi. Then it trickled over to
Now it's Gears,
Starfield.
Halo, Indiana
Starfield.
Jones. Everyone's
Then-
saying
then-
everything basically.
Then, what's it dude? This dude had me blocked. He's abnormally Xbox dude, journalist, Jeff Grubb. He announces on his show that he heard rumors about Gears going, planning rumors of ideas of Gears planning to go over. And here is the kicker. It actually collaborated by Tom Warren that yes, there are talk of bringing Xbox game, not only Hi-Fi and Starfield. So he collaborated that. So the rumor is not it's a rumor, but it have multiple media sources that they didn't want to be the first one to share it. It seems. And from the look of it, apparently there was supposed to be an event happening, a quote unquote business event being held by Sarah Bond. But because what happened with the leak, and now Phil Spencer gotta address it next week. That's basically the gist of it.
Yeah.
Okay, who did they hear these rumors from though? Like, if we're talking disgruntled ex-employees, I don't know if I buy into that. So we'll see.
No, but it actually corroborated.
They
When
could
it
be
gets-
getting rumors from the same source though.
When
Like, we don't know.
No. You need to understand one thing. Some warrants have inside people.
I mean, I'm not
You
saying
know what?
I'm not
Yeah,
saying
They
I
should
mean,
done what Nintendo
remember one
did
thing.
and just
The Series X got leaked. It was never revealed. It got leaked. And so that got to show you that people have access to information. It's a matter of when to use them.
I mean, the portal got leaked. The portal got leaked. I mean, hardware gets leaked all the time, and it's not necessary.
Yeah.
I mean, the images get out in the wild as soon as they start getting developed. And
I'm gonna say hardware's not that hard to get a leak of.
Yeah,
All you gotta
like,
do is
they
go on the
leak it.
government website and look at the pattern.
yeah, hardware leaks all the time.
Pattern leaks are extremely easy and they're kind of made to be available because that's the whole purpose of a pattern. You can't copy it.
Yeah, so I mean, hardware leaks all the time. That's not a big deal.
But yeah, go ahead, Bao. Go back to Jubei. Sorry about that.
Oh no, you're good.
Oh, you're good.
But yeah,
Yeah, I mean, I'm not the worst thing they can do is take out day and date out of Game Pass because that literally makes that worthless to me. So,
makes it worthless, even
yeah.
though you get you still get a bunch
it
of really
makes
good.
it worthless.
You still get
it
a bunch
makes
of good
it
games in there.
absolutely worthless to me.
You only play first party games out of the Game Pass catalog.
Yes, I do.
Okay.
It makes it absolutely worthless to me.
Okay.
Damn, no Monster Hunter Rise.
No Persona. All these.
We've talked. I talked at the beginning of the show. I've played Persona 3. I'm not in any kind of rush to play it again.
I know
I feel like
but I
playing
know
it
that
is
there's certain
probably
games
gonna
that you
leave.
buy and then you get upset because they're in Game Pass. So I'm like, there's no
Yeah.
games.
And that's the point because I bought it. So if they're not gonna put
So you're okay with buying your games?
I buy games, so yes, I'm okay. I'm definitely okay with buying my games. But if I buy a game and then that game becomes free at
then
some
go
point,
to
I
Game
feel
Pass.
shafted.
I
So
feel you on that end.
Okay.
I need that's honestly what I care about. I know I have not had to worry about Xbox first party games not being in there, so
Okay,
I
but if
need
you
to
know,
see if
but if
that
you know that
changes
it's
it.
coming in Game Pass like 6 months later, and you already got a catalog,
that's too much. I don't care. I want what I want.
okay.
Wait, what did you say you wanted to? But you still want day and date? Is what you
Still
said?
want
Yep.
day and date.
Yep.
Really?
Yep. I have had zero problems with day and date.
Oh
Which is that's
man.
what's killing the Xbox brand. Between
You say
that
that,
and
but
Game
That's
Pass
my
in
only
general.
problem with the ecosystem.
their own financial numbers don't care about sales. They care about
They
player numbers.
clearly
and engagement.
do. Why do you think they want to do this move, though?
Well, I mean,
When they announce their financials, they're not talking about sales. They
But-
talk about is player engagement numbers. So unless that is changing, No, sales
Well-
is not how they sit there and announce the
I just-
financials.
All right, so
Okay,
this
so
think-
explain to me why they are doing the move if they do it.
so
If
I mean,
there-
own
it's a
Call of
rumor,
Duty,
we
why
don't
are they
know
talking
if we're
about how
doing the
many
Yeah, I
move.
said
Call of Duty
if.
is-
I said if.
but
Why would they want to do it?
to Jubei's argument though, I can't think of any first party game that released this generation since Game Pass that didn't, like, the big games per se, I should say, that didn't
Okay, like
sell
Gears
well.
5, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, like, that didn't sell well per se. Well,
What did Gears 5 sell?
but Gears
I
5
didn't know.
Game Pass wasn't out yet when Gear 5 came out, right?
Yes, it was.
No,
2019.
no. Actually, no, it was not.
Yes,
Because
it was.
I bought Gears
2019.
5. bought Gears 5.
Because you supported like I did. I bought Gears 5, but when did Game Pass come out? 2017.
Game Pass launched 2017.
Wait, actually, let me look that.
Yeah,
It's
Gears
okay.
5
It's okay that you
definitely
bought
out.
a digital license. Do not
Yeah.
harm yourself.
No, I'm not.
Whoa. Like, whoa. Okay. Yes, you are correct. Yes,
That's
yes.
okay. I
But
purchased it
I'm
too.
not angry at it. I'm just saying, like,
But
it did. I must have been on Game Pass at that time. So
yeah,
That's okay.
but can we say that Gears 5 didn't sell well because of Game Pass? Because it still doesn't have high. It didn't have high player
Gears
numbers.
5,
It didn't.
I think
Absolutely.
I don't. Well, here's the thing. Gears 5 to me is not my a category of great badass entry into the series. Why? Because the character wasn't exactly the most charismatic. Now, if it was, it doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be. Old school characters from the original trilogy. But
she was bitching a lot.
Yeah, but I say a lot of
And
people didn't.
it
A lot of people didn't
fine.
play the game in general.
Yeah, exactly. So, but if we had a Gear 6 that hit a lot of those safe milestones, it doesn't need to be a male character. I'm not saying that. It will sell gangbusters.
Yeah,
It will
because
sell
I mean,
gangbusters.
because all right, so
Who disagrees? Do you disagree, Farrell?
I think
No,
a great Gears
don't.
game. I think a great
No,
Gears game
Your
would
answer is
sell.
no. Your answer
No, you're
is
not
no.
letting me answer the question. I'm gonna say I think a great Gears game would sell well. That's all I'm trying to say. You're not even letting me talk. I think a great
Yeah.
Gears game would sell well. But a lot of people didn't. A lot of people didn't play Gears 5. Even after Hive Busters came out, a lot of people didn't go
Yeah.
back to play Hive Busters.
And I
Yeah.
heard High Busters is amazing DLC.
It is.
Yeah.
It's the problem with Gears 5 was they got too money hungry.
But-
Microtransactions galore in
But,
horde mode, and it was just bad.
And I mean,
But
I
you can
think
still
it's tough
play
to
the single
judge.
player though.
I think
You can still play the single player campaign.
yeah, but
Yeah,
I
you
think
can.
I think Game Pass and first party in some ways is hard to judge because god damn it, I think I got a kid coming down here. But I think it's hard to judge. What's up? All right, I got you in a minute. Let me just finish this thing. So Xbox hasn't really had their first party going. They purchased ZeniMax, right? And that's pretty much the only thing that they've gotten first party from. Well, Deathloop released on PlayStation first, right? So they captured all of those sales, and then a year later it came to Game Pass. And then same thing with Ghostwire Tokyo. The first big game that you really got was Starfield. Hi-Fi Rush was a shadow drop that had no marketing behind it. Redfall was a flop. So they don't really have a lot of data to say if we release big games other than what Forza Horizon 5 and Forza Horizon 5, Halo Infinite, and Starfield are the only real 3 games that
And
you
maybe
can
Gears,
that
right? 'Cause do we know Gears sales?
we know that it
We
didn't.
actually- no, we
It
actually-
didn't sell well. It didn't play like a lot of people didn't play it in general. It didn't sell well on
Do
Steam.
you remember like the engagement numbers? Is that why you're saying that?
Yeah, I think it sold less than 2 million copies.
What? No.
I think it did.
That is-
I think it's around 2 million
that's-
copies. I do
that's
think Gears 5.
This is,
Crazy.
it's going to be hard to measure Gears if it came out on Game Pass as well.
But I'm
Gears
just
many
Gears 5
players.
lifetime sales? No, man.
I think so. I mean, Lifetime it may hit like 5. Appreciate that, Dylan. But yeah, I don't think they have a. I mean, and then all the other studios that they purchased, their big games already captured most of their sales before they came into Game Pass. Like Outer Worlds. Whatever sales success it had that before Microsoft bought them, and then the game went into Game Pass. So they don't really have a lot of data on if we release big games. They got 3 games really to go off: Forza Horizon, Forza Motorsport, Forza Horizon, Forza Motorsport, Halo Infinite, and Starfield. They got 4 games
What did
over the
Horizon sell? Didn't Horizon sell well?
7 years of Game Pass? Yeah, 7 years of Game Pass now. They only had like 4 games to go off, 4 or 5 games to go off. What'd you ask me?
Well, wait, yeah. What did Horizon sell? Didn't Horizon sell well?
Horizon sold great because like they had, well, even if it didn't sell great as far as full game sales, like the early access, they had like over like 5 million people in early access. So at least 5 million people bought like the premium pack where you pay like $40.
Hey guys,
access the game
I have a
early.
question. So is 3 million in the first weekend bad for a game launch? Because that's what Gears 5 pushed
Oh, they did 3 million in the first.
at the first weekend.
It depends.
No, that's
So
real.
that's what I'm trying to figure out.
3 million in the first week is great. That is.
It is.
So-
It's really good.
Yeah, that's really good. 3 million in the first
But
week.
That's really good.
If it kept selling, then yes. But if it's only 3 million and then it declined, then you have an issue.
That's what always happens with any game. Like typically, you don't sell millions and millions the following week. You pick up hundreds and hundreds of thousands along the way, and then over.
Because I'm thinking because it's a Game Pass game along with it was Game Pass since day one. So, and this was like early stages of Game Pass. So that's why I'm saying like the sales number for this game is.
So wait a minute. I'm seeing 3
I say we have to go through player count.
I'm seeing
I'm
3
gonna
million players during the launch weekend, but Game Pass is a thing at this point.
I'm not saying
So that's-
saying Game Pass didn't hurt its ultimate sales potential.
Like
Because
like what we also have to think about, like even with the Forza shit, with their premium shit that they were selling like before the game came out, we saw sales for that, even though people knew this game was going to be in Game Pass. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And
they had
Game Pass
like
gave you a discount
they had like more than like they had like 7 million players before the game even officially launched.
even came out.
Yeah, so it sold
Correct,
well.
which would be people that bought the premium pass or whatever the fuck.
They either
Right.
bought the premium pass or they bought the game or they pre-ordered the game. So,
Yep.
so the game, so Forza Horizon sold great. I would assume Halo sold pretty well. I would assume it did.
Halo.
We know
which Halo 5 or the new
Infinite.
Halo Infinite.
It did so well. That was like the biggest thing. It was people like the campaign,
and
people are coming back.
And whatchamacallit sold well. Starfield sold well. So but what I'm saying is it's a small sample size. Like they don't have like 20 games to go off of to be like, or 20 big games. Like we released these.
They're also not giving themselves the chance to build that up though.
Yeah, this is their first. This is
go multi-platform.
I was saying in the chat. I was saying that 2024 is really the first year that their in-house studios, not the ones that they purchased, ABK and ZeniMax, the Xbox Game Studios. This is the first year that Xbox Game Studios is really going to churn out some games with Hellblade 2 and Avowed, and maybe 1 or 2 more games we haven't heard about yet. So this is the first time in the Xbox Series era that the in-house studios are going to actually drop any significant content. I mean,
Okay, so I have a question. Do you guys? So we have always covered how, sadly, Xbox people for the most part don't support games, right?
I think that's like the social media banter is that Xbox gamers don't buy games.
No. It's not social media banter. When you go to the little amount of games that's sold, even games that have whatchamacallit, deals marketing right with Xbox, aka Cyberpunk, it still sold more on PlayStation.
PlayStation also has more places or potential places for you to buy it on, though. You have to think about that too. Like, it's not that simple.
What do you mean?
If the console sales numbers between these two consoles were close, and we're
Yeah.
seeing that, yeah, there's a problem. It's not close. We're talking 7-1 in some countries, bro. Like, it's not close. I'm not surprised Cyberpunk got. It doesn't matter where the marketing rights are. People don't give a shit. They just want to play the game. So if majority of the systems where this game can go is on PlayStation, where do you think all the sales are going?
But when
Yeah.
you
And
when
how many
you're
of those games got
actively-
removed on PlayStation 4?
when
Right.
you're actively killing your own fan base by now killing your own physical media, like
They're killing physical media because they can't fucking sell consoles.
I mean,
why?
we
Why
don't
do-
even know if that's
because
confirmed yet.
It goes to the first issue then. The content. Where's the content? What was
So now it's not games. Like they're giving away games now. They don't.
They are killing physical media because physical media will no longer be a thing by 2030, bro. Like even
Right.
like
I'm about to say you
even-
literally have
even-
Game Pass
getting
on
ahead
most
of the curve.
TVs now.
like look, even
Yeah.
even PlayStation, when they release collector's editions now, they don't come with a physical
There's
disc
no game.
anymore. There's no
There's no
game
fucking
anymore.
game in there.
Like they are telling you that we are moving. Like they just released a new console where the disc drive is optional. Like so.
Plus I could play Game Pass on my phone with.
But
this
I'm just talking
controller.
about both platforms are moving
Or-
away from physical. People got to get it out of their head that they're
Not
going to be
really,
playing
like,
games on
we're
disc.
We're also
The
not
disc is
gonna talk
going-
about the fact
The
that
disc is going
majority
bye
of PlayStation sales are digital now anyway. You can
Like-
see the fucking numbers. Like,
like-
it's been going up.
And then as far as
60% is still a majority.
the sales go, Omar, yes, PlayStation has a larger install base. So if you go by volume, they're always going to have a larger volume of sales. To say that
no. It doesn't matter though.
it does matter.
if
If you're
one
gonna say that Xbox gamers don't buy games, you have to go by ratio. You got to go by a percentage, so that you know. All right, so of Xbox gamers, we typically get 20% of Xbox gamers that buy these RPGs versus on PlayStation, 45% of PlayStation gamers buy these type of RPGs. But the numbers are definitely not that skewed. PlayStation may have a larger volume, but I'm pretty sure like across the board people buy relatively the same percent. For the most part. There might be like a variance
And
of
that's
like
what I was
5
trying
to
to say.
7.
Like, if the sales were fucking equal,
There might be
we
like
wouldn't be
a
having this conversation.
there may be like a 5 to 7% variance at most. In most cases with most popular genres in general. But yeah.
I'm just looking up like these NDP numbers. So I guess Gears didn't make the top 20 for 2019 overall.
Nope.
Yeah, that's what I'm
They
saying. The
didn't
game
make
didn't. That's what I was saying. The game didn't necessarily sell great.
It had a good
That's-
start.
That's crazy, guys.
So
I mean, but it was on Game Pass too, so we don't know the.
Yeah,
we don't.
Game Pass
it-
definitely affected that. It's not. It's going to be in the top 20 guys without Game Pass.
you say, Kofi, you say that, but all I hear is, oh, their games suck, but now they're not gonna suck because they're going somewhere else.
Well, I mean,
Like,
I heard
like-
I heard a lot
that-
of
that's
negative
what I-
discourse
No, they just
with.
need
I mean-
to sell.
I heard a lot of negative discourse when it came to Gears 5, so I'm not surprised it didn't crack the
Yeah.
top 20.
Like no, but I hear you, Jube. Like I definitely see a lot of jokers. Like I forget his name, but he got the dude dancing,
Like,
walking through the field. With,
y'all called it Star Flop, but now if it's potentially coming to PlayStation, y'all are gonna magically buy it now because it's fucking good. Like, get the
No.
fuck out of here.
If they
you
buy
know me,
Starfield, I'm
personally,
alive.
I hate Bethesda. Just me. But online, I have seen people. They're interested in Starfield because they think things will be. I don't know, somehow better. But
I mean,
Gears
Runs on the
franchise is where I
same
see a lot
arm
of-
chip.
less loading.
What?
We're gonna hope for less loading.
Yeah, exactly.
You guys are running the same ARM chip and the same SSD. And
It's gonna load the exact same on both platforms.
the
Like,
NVMe 4 drive's not even the fastest drive. We got NVMe 6 now on PC.
like
And there's
it's-
still load
it's-
times. What do
it-
you expect?
like,
Oh, how bad is it on PC?
It's not. It's so like besides the game having little optimization issues, load time isn't the problem because the game will fully load, but then you still have to go through the full animation regardless if it loads or
Got it.
not. So this whole load time thing, like, oh, we're gonna get faster load time. You're still gonna have to watch the whole animation. So who gives a damn? You're gonna watch your ship take off, and you're gonna watch your ship land. And I mean,
That's technically a load
landing.
time. Yeah, that's a load time, takeoff and landing. Even if they didn't have a load screen, it's still it's a way to get it.
Your game will be fully loaded in the background. And it's still you got to finish the animation first.
Mm-hmm.
Also, one thing we haven't covered
these Xbox
yet.
games will review better because they're not just on fucking Xbox.
Oh, they'll definitely
Maybe.
review. They'll definitely review better if that's the case. I definitely think so. But yeah,
Also, one thing we haven't covered yet, which is the news that apparently PlayStation provided them with dev kits.
They didn't provide them. Xbox bought them. Microsoft invested.
Well, I have a counter to that. Like, you know what you need dev kits to put on PlayStation so that you can fulfill your obligations you set in court. Fucking Call of Duty.
Call of Duty, Guitar Hero, anything that comes from ABK has to pretty much
be multiplayer.
It has to be.
They did agree for Call of Duty, and honestly, Microsoft can't. Like Call of Duty makes so much money, it will be ridiculous for them not to make it all cross-platform. If they were to make that exclusive to Xbox, that could honestly hurt their numbers tremendously.
Yeah, they need those dev kits because they do have legal obligations.
No, the dev kit wasn't meant for Call of Duty. The dev kit was meant for the other game.
Well,
it's literally mentioned in the leak.
What, Starfield or something?
Yeah,
because we already know what happened with Starfield.
Right, so,
Sony was trying to make that an exclusive, and then the Xbox got wind of it and said, "Fuck that," and they just bought Bethesda completely.
We don't have any leaks. We have rumors. Leaks are when official documents or official things. We have rumors. We don't have any leaks.
I mean, but anyway, these rumors are called. I don't understand. They should have done what like Nintendo did with the Nintendo Switch 2 rumors. Nintendo just shut the fuck up, and people realized that they were just talking out their asses and made a lot of people look stupid.
Well, the thing is, the news flow got so bad that they couldn't shut up.
If that's the case, couldn't Phil Spencer just have said that same thing? Like, these rumors are not true and called the day?
Well,
I mean, possibly. I don't think he's doing an official statement, so
I don't think he can just.
We don't know what he's going to say. He could possibly come out and say that. Like he'd be like, "Look, most of this stuff is not true. We're still selling consoles." I mean, come on now. The Xbox controller is still significantly a better controller than the DualSense controller. A lot of people find this controller extremely comfortable. There's a reason why it has the same shape for the past like 2 to 3 generations.
It's the best-selling controller in the world.
Plus, it works on multiple platforms.
Official controller of the U.S. government, many other governments. For like
flying all of our drones.
Yeah, for drones and all types of other stuff.
I mean, even our mobile phones are following it.
It's no Joy-Con. It's okay.
Oh boy,
it's not. It doesn't have to be a Joy-Con. It's
supposed salty, Reggie.
It's not a Wiimote.
But yeah, I mean, Phil has to come out and say something regardless because they have to. Even if these rumors didn't exist, they still have to come out and talk about what the acquisition of ABK means. They haven't said anything about ABK since the acquisition has taken place other than welcome them into the family. We still don't know what their plans are for any of that content, whether within the Xbox ecosystem at all. We don't know anything.
One thing I will say, or last thing I'll just say about Gears 5 is apparently it was the biggest launch ever for Game Pass within the first 2 years. So you can count that as one of your, whatever you said, half dozen.
Oh, so yeah, that it probably increased subs. And people,
just the fact for like the most active people, like between Game Pass and purchasing, ever.
Yeah, people.
I don't know, that's a milestone.
People can't discount what adding subs to the service also means, and locking people into the ecosystem and that impact as well. I mean, net sales on a first party game may not mean as much if you lock them into. They end up getting locked into Game Pass for 5 years, and they purchase an additional 20, 30 games that they maybe would have purchased on another platform, but because they got used to your ecosystem,
or they got used to the ecosystem and they don't feel like they need an Xbox. I mean, literally my Samsung TV, I can just plug a controller into it now and play Game Pass on my TV, and the latency is extremely good.
Yeah. But I mean,
Scary good.
However you get locked in is however you get locked in. But I mean, people can't, discount, that impact as well and what that does for the platform.
Mobile phones. We even got controllers, our Xbox versions of controllers for your mobile phone to play Game Pass.
But,
I mean, people are buying these left and right.
I think the issue that big Microsoft is running into is that they just don't market the Xbox well enough.
No, they literally said we don't care about sales. So why would they market it? They literally said we don't console sales don't matter.
They don't care about maybe console sales, but they care about revenue and how that but no matter how you desire to get that revenue, you still have to market a product or a service to a customer in order to make money. You gotta market something, right? So whether you're marketing Game Pass, whether you market Game Pass or if you're marketing the game but you don't want to sell them a console to play it on, you have to market the vehicle in which they're going to play it as well. You can't just market the game by itself.
Why would they market the console if they don't care about the sales? They just
there has to be a vehicle per which a customer partakes in said game. So you have to market you have to market something. You have to market Game Pass. I'm not saying they have to market the Xbox Series X and S. That's not what I'm saying. They have to market the ecosystem. Whatever is most desirable, it has to be marketed. Whether it's Xbox Series S, Xbox Series X, PC, cloud, whatever. Like if you don't want people to buy a console, then goddamn it, every Samsung TV commercial better talk about Xbox also. Like that's what I'm saying. You have to market. Like they have to get better at marketing Xbox, and Xbox does not necessarily mean Xbox console. They have to get better at marketing Xbox if they want Xbox to grow. And I think,
and they gotta make a new IP.
Making new IPs is great, but if you're only making those new IPs and marketing to the customers you already have, because the only marketing that you get is on your Xbox or on YouTube or something like that. Like you have to market Xbox one way or another. You have to market it. Whatever. Xbox means a lot of things to a lot of different people. Like you said, they may not care about the console. They might care about the Samsung TV. They might care about the PC. But you have to market Xbox. Just like PlayStation has to market PlayStation. Like they have to market their brand. That's why every game that they get marketing rights for, it says PlayStation, because they have to market PlayStation. They're not marketing PlayStation 5, they're marketing PlayStation. And then when people say, oh, look, what's PlayStation? Oh, I need a PlayStation 5. I buy a PlayStation 5. Like you have to market your brand in order to sell products.
And the brand, I think, is far more important because new IP, I don't think is terribly that important based on the past couple of years of video games we've had. The biggest games of the past couple of years have been sequels. Not all of them have been brand new IPs
or existing IP like Hogwarts Legacy. Like that's not a new
something
IP.
Existing, which we know because we've talked about this before. Like they don't want to take risk on new stuff. It's why we're probably getting. It's probably the next 2 Naughty Dog games will probably be something Uncharted and Last of Us related.
I think the biggest new IP, the biggest new IP that we have is Starfield.
Neil Druckmann already compared the next IP from Naughty Dog. It's neither Uncharted nor Last of Us. It's a new IP.
We'll see.
But the last, but the biggest, the two most recent big IPs are Elden Ring and Starfield. Other than that, there haven't been many big new IPs.
Yeah, nothing new, I guess.
Elden Ring and Starfield. That's it.
Which I think would then plays into. I agree. I think it's odd that Xbox is moving how they're moving, and it remains to be seen whether or not this is true. But it always feels as though they've been trying to move into whatever the digital space is going to be. And the digital space is coming as much as people don't want it, but we know it to be true. We've seen PlayStation games that don't come with anything. It just comes with a code. Xbox games and Game Pass. Foam Stars, as far as I know, doesn't exist on a disc, right? There is no physical version of it.
People don't buy Blu-rays no more. People don't buy music CDs anymore. People don't buy vinyls anymore, but they expect that they're gonna buy game discs forever.
And there will always be room for those people who want to buy those vinyls. That's perfectly fine. You can
but
buy
it's niche. It's always gonna, but it just becomes niche.
It's just going to be niche, and that's going to happen in the gaming industry to the point where I already foresee Nintendo being the last holdout. Yeah. They're already the last holdout when it comes to like modern carts anyway. They still use the actual game cart.
While Nintendo is the last one, the actual storage device, the cartridge, keeps getting smaller and smaller and smaller until it won't exist anymore.
Yeah, and
because that Switch, them Switch cartridges are so damn tiny now.
But it's a waste of money to put 4 gigabytes on one cartridge when you can get like SD cards that can hold like 250 to 500 gigabytes.
Yeah. But I think in this day and age, a lot of the companies are saying it's a waste of money to put anything on any disc.
Switch 2 might not have a disc. It may not have a cartridge anymore. I wouldn't be shocked.
No,
and it just applies based on everything. Like the lab, just amongst, there's a lot of pieces of media that people buy. Like, we watch a whole bunch of things, but not physically. We watch it on Netflix, or we illegally download it, or Hulu, or anything. So then it becomes an environment conversation about where do you want to play. So for those folks who might be invested, I think, in the Xbox ecosystem, I don't think they're going to just all of a sudden go out and buy PS5s or 6s or whatever the new PlayStation is. They just might get their Xbox games somewhere else, however that may be. And I think it's important for Microsoft to figure that out. They could still stick with consoles if they want to. It just feels like they're trying to prep their audience to say, hey guys, we're going to try something different here. The traditional console model that's been the same for forever, we're going to move away from that. We're going to try something new. We're going to try something different. And I can understand from an Xbox side position, like the frustration of that. Because a large part is we're just so used to that model. Like for most people, it's the only model they've ever known. Yeah. So the idea is if it's not broke, don't fix it. But you have to be paying attention to how all media is maneuvering today, and video games aren't special. They aren't something different. They aren't something unique. They follow the same trends that everything else does. And inevitably, we might not see the traditional console in the way that we're used to seeing it. It is the same way when Nintendo decided we're not going to follow the traditional console release schedule. And everybody said, oh, that's a bad move and Nintendo's going to fall down. And yet they have 2 of the greatest selling systems of all time in recent memory.
Yeah. So, Zero, can you see a world where Xbox whatever comes out, PlayStation 6 comes out, and then not even 5 years later, 3 years later, the consoles are obsolete because the TVs can do everything?
Certainly possible. Or if you want to do a smaller scale, like whatever tablet, or if you can plug like a Google Chromecast that you plug into your device or a Fire Stick, allowing you to do that. I think the bar of entry might be too high if you expect people to buy a TV to play the thing. Because I think sometimes people do.
Well, the TVs are already doing it. That's what I'm saying. The TVs are already doing it. So
and
by then,
Chromecast.
By then, you can buy.
Chromecast already it supports Xbox Game Pass.
Yeah, but to your point, like in my head, if Xbox made themselves a Chromecast, yes.
But they don't need Chromecast because it's native to like this TV now. You can buy a $500 TV and have access to the Xbox games now, as
I
opposed
don't
to
think
buying
most
a.
people actually buy $500 TVs. But I'm not. But again,
But,
not
but
to
that,
say
that's
that
what I'm
you're wrong.
saying. So I'm saying.
not to say that you're wrong.
So I'm talking about. I'm saying when the next generation consoles come out. So the next generation consoles come out. We're talking about maybe 8 years. So I said that the next consoles come out, and then 3 years later. So we're talking about maybe like 8 years, 7 years.
Yeah,
That-
and we've got
I
quite
mean,
some time.
think about how cheap those TVs would be then. I mean, you might be able to get a damn $100 TV and be able to stream your games.
Which, if you can figure that out, then I think that's an agreeable move to me.
Like you might just have a PlayStation app, an Xbox app, and Nintendo won't do that. And
Nintendo
a
app.
Switch.
No, no, I don't think PlayStation will do that. PlayStation still wants you to get that console. Sony wants you to get that PlayStation 5.
I won't say, because you got to remember, like before, like PlayStation Now was decommissioned. They were getting out of it, but they bought Gaikai. They had PlayStation Now on your PC. They had it on your TV for a little bit of time, but it just did so poorly. They PlayStation started all this Game Pass streaming stuff. It was them and EA Play that really started it. Game Pass was just the one. Yeah, Game Pass was just the one to take off. But
well,
I mean, like PlayStation has been on this streaming thing. They weren't on day and date, but they had the whole streaming and PlayStation TV and PlayStation Now. Like there was a PC app, there was a TV app. They were first.
I remember the PC app. The latency was terrible.
Yeah,
extremely terrible. No matter what connection you had.
Shit, they even had the phone. They even had the PS Vita phone. They've always been ahead of it.
Their hardware was literally. They have not been doing good hardware wise. Besides the PlayStation, that's literally keeping them afloat.
So execution may be short, but they've been pushing in these directions. They purchased Gaikai for a reason. It failed, but they did purchase them for a reason.
And I agree with that. The idea is that the execution might not always be there. Like you're right. Like Sony had their streaming service before Game Pass was a thing. And yes, fundamentally, if the only difference between the two is that one is day and date and one isn't, that still to me doesn't necessarily move the conversation about streaming your games as a whole and why do you want to do it in whatever environment that you want to do it in. I said, if I look at Foam Stars, who, as I can tell, does not have a physical release, I really didn't see a lot of pushback about it not having a physical release. I saw people saying, it kind of makes sense. It's a little bit of a smaller game. Just throw it on PS Plus.
Alan Wake 2 doesn't have a physical release.
Or Stray doesn't have a physical release, right?
Now it does.
Now it does? Okay.
Yeah, it does. But
let's just say initially, Stray, nominated for Game of the Year, didn't have a physical release.
How?
No one seemed to have a bit of an issue with that.
I did.
Right? And like I said, there will always be folks like Kofi, who was like, I'm just buying it, bro. Like,
in the same way. On the lawn. All right. You're the old
I mean, but like
I still got my disk drive on my PC, so I can't even get mad at Kofi. I refuse to remove that disk drive.
But that stuff always exists. You go to an uncle or parent's house, you go to their basement, it's full of records. There are always folks who are going to be that and have that. But the majority of people don't necessarily care. Kofi's got children, Barrow's got children. I don't think your kids care how they get the games. They just want the games.
Yeah, I mean, at this point in our society, literally less than 20% of content that is purchased is physical.
And then from
it's like 85. It's like 85 digital, 15 or less physical at this point. And that number is going down year over year to the point in 2-3 years you might not have any physical content. I mean, all the retail stores are getting rid of their physical media sections. So
stock up on those DVDs when that internet shortage happens, when that EMP bomb goes off.
Exactly. And I bring all this up just to say, I don't know what Xbox's move is. I can only hypothesize that, if any of this stuff is true, or if it's true to the extent that people are dooming and glooming about it, then perhaps Xbox is trying to get a head start on something they might see coming. And they don't want to be late to it, so they come early and get it done. I understand from an Xbox fan position, also largely from a Twitter side, it's like I've kind of picked a side in this war, and it seems as though our general is giving up. And it's like, I've fought hard for you, and it doesn't seem like you appreciated my effort into that. But like Juve said, like they never really cared anyway. Shut up and buy the thing. Like, consume. Don't worry about anything else. So I am very intrigued to see what Phil has to say. I hope people are very nice to Sarah Bond. It's not her fault.
It's not anybody at Xbox's fault. This is Microsoft.
Yeah, or Microsoft.
When
nobody really knows.
When you overtake Windows, you get a different set of eyes, man.
So
they overtook Windows?
They overtook Windows. That's why all this stuff.
You know how hard that is?
Yeah, exactly. That's why all this is going on. That's why all this is going on right now, is because they overtook Windows and now they're Microsoft's third largest business.
And I guess if you look at it in that perspective, because Microsoft doesn't sell almost any physical products, right? Like Microsoft, the company.
Well, the issue is that they do sell physical products, and the ones they do don't sell.
Surface. That's what I mean, like
so, really quick, Pharaoh. Was there any evidence on the revenue that they generated has more profits than Windows?
All right, so they generated more revenue than Windows. Due to the integration of ABK into Microsoft, they took like a $440 million loss, I think, on the quarter.
That's understandable.
So,
but it is yet to be proven if it's made more profit, just more revenue.
More revenue. But I mean,
I have it under research. I'm just trying to understand.
I mean, I'm sure that they have, if you take out integration costs, over the long term.
You're sure, or you're confident?
I'm pretty well. I can't say I'm. I mean, it's
a
sales.
Tough hill to climb.
It's sales, but sales go up and down. But I would be pretty sure with ABK, Bethesda, and Xbox that they're gonna out revenue Windows for the foreseeable future.
That's a tough, an impressive hill to climb if they climbed it, but a tough one nonetheless, considering like it is just an industry standard amongst almost all industries.
Like unless you're telling me that like Call of Duty is not going to be Call of Duty anymore in like the next like 3 years, I would say like then yeah, for the foreseeable future they probably will out revenue Windows.
That's another game that's just going to make money no matter where it's at, right?
Yeah.
But then in Game Pass, keep it out of Game Pass. People going to buy that every year.
And people forget Call of Duty Mobile is dropping in 2 months.
Warzone. Call of Duty is Warzone on the mobile.
It's just like their Christmas thing.
No, it's literally because I'm
it's a
in
new
the
one
mobile scene now.
It's a new one dropping in April though, right? And that one already has like a $30 million wait list. Like it has like a 30 million like wait list on there. So
yeah, it's supposed. They're trying to integrate Call of Duty and mobile people with regular Call of Duty people. I saw the Call of Duty. They actually I did signed up for the pre-download. And apparently, it's the reason why this Backbone controller is selling like crazy, because this is the only compatible mobile controller with it.
And then, and another thing people aren't factoring in is that with their monthly active users, they always go with MAU. Monthly active users, they did not include console. All they included was Xbox. All they included was the current Xbox monthly active users plus mobile. And they were above 200 million. So if they decide to add in PlayStation, and I don't know, does ABK put anything on Switch at all? I don't think so.
Call of Duty.
They said they're going to put some of the older Call of Duties on Switch.
They are going to put them, but as of right now, they don't.
They don't have anything. No. Actually, no. Spyro, and some other stuff.
Is on Switch. So I mean, they're probably well above 350 million active users, monthly active users, if you factor in, what's going on the PlayStation side with ABK games between Diablo. I don't think they did the World of Warcraft people. They just added in mobile for ABK. They didn't do the Diablo or any of the Overwatch people or any World of Warcraft or anything like that. So their their MAU count is probably above 350 million at the moment.
It's 350 million. What Windows' active user count is?
I'm just saying.
I'm
How
not
can a
sure,
game
but I'm
division
just
be
saying
bigger than Windows?
between
That's insane.
Xbox between Xbox and all the ABK games and what they already have with Bethesda and ZeniMax, they're probably well over 350 million monthly active users, like gaming, when you factor in like Candy Crush and all that other stuff.
Regardless of whether they're in Game Pass or not in Game Pass.
Yeah,
right?
that's what I'm
Just
saying. Yeah, they have like probably access to 350 million people. And the crazy part is that you have access to all those people and you still don't market Xbox in the game, like in within the platform.
Now, and I agree with that because even amongst classic Xbox, like everybody can generally probably name a favorite PlayStation ad, a favorite Nintendo ad. The only Xbox ad I can think of off the top of my head is the Gears ad.
Yeah, but
and that's for its entirety of the existence of the system.
All right, so here's what I mean by like bad like marketing. Like, all right, so like when you go like to purchase like a DLC or whatever, how hard is it to say that like this is that like $15.99 free in Game Pass? Like if you're actually in the game that you purchase, like why can't you do that? Like if you're if you're all about Game Pass, if Game Pass is like your main thing, like this weapon pack on Call of
Their
Duty,
marketing department's run by fucking idiots.
like
is there any sort of like legal limitations on saying something's free inside
if
of a
you own
subscription?
it,
Could you say
if you
no
own
additional-
it, why? I don't think so.
I think you're supposed to say at no additional cost or something, right? And then like some
Yeah,
sort of, like,
whatever language you have to use, but you get what I'm saying. Like why?
Yeah.
Why can't you advertise? Like why aren't you advertising? It like Minecraft Legends, like whatever pack. Oh, you get you already purchased it, but hey, if you get this extra pack of Minecraft dungeons, it's $5.99 on PlayStation. Like when you go, you see the $5.99, and then like you might see like a little asterisk included in Game Pass, included free in Game Pass or whatever. You're muted again, Nappy.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, you can see that on a PC app. I mean, I think the one thing about Xbox is I always see is like play anywhere. They just that's like
you do that.
when they're kind of.
But my thing is, it's just the marketing. Like, okay, it's cool if you buy it here, but just know you can also get it at a much cheaper price on our platform. Like that's kind of my like. Why?
I mean,
those are like little tiny things that they should be doing.
I bet I don't know if they want to entice people to get more Xboxes, make like custom skins for like some of their first party games or something. I mean, because honestly, it's just if they say all they do is say play anywhere. That's the only thing I hear.
Yeah,
they will show the Xbox, they will show a phone, they will show a TV. So they just show you all the places you can play it at and just say play anywhere.
Like they just whether it's in-game ads or whatever, they do a horrible job of like games that are in other places bringing it back to Xbox. I doubt anybody will ever know who plays Candy Crush that is owned by Xbox. And I think they should.
I mean,
right?
That is Grand Blue Fantasy Relink that just came out last week. Yobi.
Oh, he's looking at the back of my screen.
Yeah, you asked what game.
Oh yeah, really good game. You should play it.
Or I guess theoretically, once it's all said and done, like the Xbox logo should appear now on Candy Crush.
The Xbox logo should be like you should not be able to play anything and not see an Xbox logo with as much IP as they own. You should see everyone should be able to see an Xbox logo every day.
Really quick, I just wanted to jump in about I guess talking about the rumors and potentially
fire away.
Yeah, like I'll say like on a high level, I do like the idea of Xbox being a competitor in the more traditional sense against PlayStation by keeping their IPs off of PlayStation, allowing developers to, I would say, not work on PS5 dev kits for focus on, optimizing for the Xbox ecosystem. But I know that Xbox has lots of platforms, right? They release simultaneously on PC, and then doing on S and X is also its own,
Yeah.
individual effort. So anyway, I am all for like Starfield never coming to PlayStation. I'm fine in the interest of, hey, we have our title that is groundbreaking and changing in this way, and we want PlayStation to be passionate and hire people that can make our competing IPs. Um, the Now, in theory, let's say that Xbox does go this. Apparently, games everywhere or many games everywhere, like we've heard Gears and Halo. The only concern I guess I have for Xbox long term is if they're going to remain some sort of have some sort of like device or ecosystem that you can access that can still compete with PlayStation, right? Like Game Pass subscribers would potentially potentially take away from people who want to subscribe to PlayStation, right? Because some people can really reasonably afford only one. If the physical console does go away and it's just like a dongle or a TV or a what do you call it, a Stadia type situation, like a controller, I guess.
Yeah.
I'm very interested in how, to your marketing point, Pharaoh, how Xbox identifies with who or what not demographic, but like, okay, what I'm kind of trying to say is new Game Pass subscribers, I would imagine, are primarily through their console. And when they buy the console, let's say, I don't know, 30% of every purchase, somebody subscribes for some duration of time, at least 6 months or 3 months. If that console were to slowly slide away, would that demographic of people who subscribe at such a healthy rate transfer to televisions, or would it transfer to people on mobile, or would it transfer to PC? I want to know how they sustain that very high or reasonably high guarantee that this new user or this massive wave of new users only coming in through TVs are so interested in gaming that they definitely are still subscribing to Game Pass. Because when you buy an Xbox console, you're at least disagree. I mean, tell me if I'm wrong, Pharaoh or Juve or Nappy. When you buy an Xbox console, your chance of subbing to Game Pass is really high. But if you buy a TV, there's just so many other things that TV could be doing, and it could lessen your opportunity to say like, hey, don't forget, like we have Game Pass here. Like, don't look at Tubi or Crackle or anything else here. I want you to game, and you might delude your opportunity to make your new ecosystem the viable conversation to gather new gamers about. So like my thought is, let's say like this happened tomorrow. Like let's say Phil Spencer comes out and it's like everything's everywhere, but we're still going to compete and all this. I would imagine that between now and 2034, which is exactly 10 years from now, that like the people, the Xbox fans entering the ecosystem would not have like it would be a declining challenge between now and 2034, because I feel like there needs to be a hub that like the primary thing to do is game, not because there's tons of phones, right? There's tons of PCs, tons of Steam subscribers, and they're not all like funneled into Game Pass. They're all doing their own things, right?
Yeah.
People aren't just buying PCs just for Game Pass. So that to me, that's the slow death over the next 10 years, not necessarily dead tomorrow or next year or even next gen. But I guess my thoughts.
Yeah,
Do you
because I
think
mean, like,
there's-
I would.
Go ahead. Y'all go ahead.
I was gonna say, Kobe, you bought Hi-Fi Rush for PC,
I did.
right? So
Yeah.
when you purchase Hi-Fi Rush and you play it on PC, and this opening splash screen, you don't see Xbox.
You don't?
No,
I don't
they
even
just,
remember.
They just show Bethesda and Tango GameWorks.
Really?
So do you want to make it like where when you turn on your console, you see the logo first? You want that to happen for all the PC games?
I'm just saying, if you're releasing your games on other platforms, your goal should be for no matter
Minecraft
where they.
Dungeon says Xbox Game Studios when you launch
Yeah,
it on
because
PlayStation.
it is Xbox Game Studios. But I'm saying, even if it's ZeniMax or Activision Blizzard, all of that should say Xbox. If you want to grow, if you really want to grow your brand, and you want people to eventually like when the next generation of consoles comes out, if you want people to think about what console should I get,
Yeah.
they should have
Hey.
they should be seeing Xbox so much that the thought actually crosses their mind to buy an Xbox instead of a PlayStation at some point in time. Like
I
if
agree.
you see it enough and they give you enough good games on other platforms, like if you're going to go this route, like in general, like I mean, at least slap your brand on everything. But the thing is that they're not doing don't just throw your games everywhere and not slap your brand on everything. It's just like everything should say
I agree.
Xbox
I
on
didn't
it.
even realize that.
There should be a big ass Xbox logo on the front of every physical copy of every game. You should see a little Xbox logo right on that bad boy, right on the front. Whoop. Like the box box
guys.
can be blue, but that little green X should be there. Xbox approved.
Hey guys, I just looked up something that's still active that I think everybody forgot about.
What's that?
Microsoft still has the 24-month leasing program for the Xbox Series S and X.
Oh yeah,
you pay
that's
20
still a great deal. It's cheaper than
They
buying
still
it.
got it.
It's cheaper than buying
Yeah,
the
you-
Xbox outright.
That's how I got mine at launch, man.
I mean,
Bruh, like I'm looking at this. You $34.99 for 2 years, and you can pay it off early if you want to.
Okay.
You can get the Xbox Series X, and it comes with
And it
Xbox
comes with 2
Ultimate
years.
automatically.
It comes with
Yeah.
2 years of Game Pass. Yeah.
comes with 2 years of Game Pass, and
And it's
think
What's the APR on it?
Years.
Is it just
it's
layaway?
zero
There's
interest.
no APR.
There's
Zero
it's zero interest, and it ends up being like $70 total than if you bought an Xbox Series X and like paid for 2 years of Game Pass yourself. It's actually
But I was like,
cheaper.
this
You
program is still up and running.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Like holy shit!
it's a great.
And
You're
Game
right,
Pass
they don't
Ultimate is already
advertise that.
$15 a month.
Well, $17 a month now.
Now, why did you
Oh,
think they advertised something like that, Jubei or Pharaoh?
Well,
Why they forgot about it? I forgot about it.
They didn't forget about it.
They advertised it when the console first launched, but they don't really advertise it. Like, there's not a commercial for it. I think GameStop has a deal with Microsoft where they're supposed to tell customers about it, but
They don't.
yeah.
Oh, that's because
forgot
GameStop's mad
about
because
that.
they ain't making money anymore.
That was like where you can get.
I
it
got
at
mine
Best
through
Buy.
Target, and I've bought several Xboxes like that.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so like if
Free,
you wanted
actually.
to if you wanted to walk out of any major retailer with an Xbox today, you can do that. Like Best Buy,
about-
Walmart, Target, and you can
I'm about to
just
say that
you can walk out pretty much with no money down or just like that $35 down. And
No, that there is no down. There's no down.
yeah. So you can walk out with
It's
it.
just straight up. You walk out, you don't pay anything, and they don't start charging you till like 2 months after you bring it home. So
Wow.
you got time.
Like a real loan or something.
Yeah,
That's
if
crazy.
you,
Yeah.
if you
I'm
want
gonna
And
say
after
it's-
tax,
you
it's
can
like
get an
it's like
Xbox. You
$37
can get
a
an
month
Xbox
after
today,
tax.
no money down, basically, and
I wonder. I don't see the deal for the new 1 terabyte console though. For the Series S 1 terabyte, I do
Oh,
not see the deal for that
is
one.
not- I don't think that is because that came after this deal was already in
Yeah.
existence.
But-
So
I mean,
I don't
even
think we'll
still
see it.
though, it's no because I'm on Microsoft website right now. They're letting me. It's relatively easy to get this lease. Like I was just filling out the paperwork just to see what happens, and
yeah, it's a pretty good deal. Well, it's more than a pretty good deal because it's actually cheaper than buying everything outright.
it's still active. Like yeah, I get it. Microsoft,
It's not.
like, what the fuck are you
It's
doing?
not going anywhere. They're not canceling it. At least,
Clearly,
Yeah,
it's
anytime
still going to
soon.
be around.
yeah.
I mean,
Kofi,
yeah,
do you
people
think-
can get.
So Kofi, do you think or anybody, there's room for in the slow death of Microsoft scenario that if they pivot to, let's say, traditional advertising and being sure that like Xbox is sort of everywhere, letting you know what you can and cannot do with the system, sort of making the commercials themselves the central hub, will that lead people to buy them? Say for example, like Netflix didn't invent it, or maybe they did, but like Netflix and chill is secondhand for streaming, right? But you
And
could be
other
watching. You could be watching anything. Like you could be watching HBO or anything, but like it'll always just be Netflix and something,
Yeah.
and you can't really buy that type of branding. But if Xbox was able to do something like that, where like you just see it all the time, every ad that you get is an Xbox ad. Xbox is in partnership with Amazon to bring you Lord of the Rings. The new Marvel is Xbox sponsored or something. Do you think there's room for that level of traditional advertising to keep them aware and keep people interested?
Yeah, sure.
I think there is, but like I said, like Xbox they have access to too many users. They have access to too many eyes who turn on or play their game every day, and they play it without seeing an Xbox logo.
Yeah, they're just in the middle. They're stuck in the dark ages for marketing,
Like-
dude. I don't get it.
Like,
I mean, Xbox logo's right here. It's on their controller. The Xbox logo's literally on their controller.
but it's not on their games.
That means nothing. It's not
on their
games.
games. Like if
I
when
hear
people,
exactly what Pharaoh's saying.
like when people bought Deathloop and it was exclusive to PlayStation, it still should have had an Xbox logo on the splash screen when it started up.
Absolutely.
Oh, you know,
should
PlayStation
have.
don't play that shit.
They don't have a say in that. It's not up to them. It's Xbox's product. They can put their logo on anything that they make.
Well, yeah,
They made it.
but
They can slap their logo on anything. They can just like they slap their logo on Minecraft because they made it. When you launch up Minecraft on PlayStation, it has an Xbox logo.
it does. That's
Yes, it's
interesting.
on the splash screen. That they made it. They can do that.
Well, I mean, it's clear that their marketing can work on their console, especially that whole 34. Like during the holidays, that's like an easy sale for holidays. It's like, hey, you want to get your kids a console for just give us $35 a month for the next 2 years. Whole Series X for you.
That freaking man! If I worked at Microsoft, that Xbox logo, and I had to say it'd be on everything.
You're not wrong, bro.
Like you
Really not.
remember how games used to have the Nintendo seal of approval.
Oh yeah, the Xbox seal of approval.
The
That used to be
Xbox-
a GameStop on the game cases.
The Xbox seal of approval would be on every Call of Duty case. This
I don't know
game
about
has
that. I mean, this Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 was mad.
I don't care. Xbox
You
seal of
gotta match.
approval.
I mean, you gotta match that approval.
I was like, don't throw approval because then
Yeah,
I'm
I'm throwing out approval when it ain't approved.
I'm throwing it on everything that I own. If I own it, I'm slapping some sort of Xbox logo on it. How you gonna make an Xbox toaster, but you don't got Xbox on every game you got?
they also got a refrigerator
I
too.
told you it's the dark ages of freaking marketing, man.
Like,
Well, it's okay. Most tech companies are getting rid of their marketing divisions anyway because they realize that
Because they can't.
They suck.
They're not Apple.
They suck.
Apple has the best marketing in the game. They do.
yeah, with their little
There's
trees.
nothing you can do about it. They
Well,
just do.
Yeah,
Apple's
they're just fake
Apple's
Apple-friendly.
also not like attached to like Silicon Valley, and they're not like completely all stuffy. Also,
stuffy. Yeah,
They're still pretty highbrow. Like let's not pretend like they're not. They're still Apple. You know.
I'm not saying that, but they're not like they're not the Silicon like circle. Like they separated themselves from Silicon Valley, and they have their own little thing. And Microsoft is stuck somewhere up in Redmond. Not like they're separated from everybody, but like they're too busy thinking they're smarter than everybody. So
Microsoft got Windows, and the fact that this game deal just surpassed
keep it
Windows
real.
is
Windows was a mistake. Like it's
how's it a mistake?
it's it's success. Like
They failed upward. They
they
failed fucking upward.
Like because like that's why Bill Gates got fired from Apple. He worked at Apple at first. He got fired, then he did Windows.
To be fair, Steve
I
Jobs
mean-
got fired from Apple too.
Yeah.
They was out there stealing from Xerox, bro.
Oh my God, Trim is saying let Halo and Forza die. Give us a new game. Oh God, no.
No.
Well, I don't
Petro
think those games necessarily have to die. I mean, if they have an audience, let them do their thing. But
I get what he's saying though. Get some new IPs. I mean, we just got the deals.
Well,
I mean,
the
they're going to bring back some old IPs,
So-
and we're going to get maybe one or two. I
The-
mean, it takes a lot to think of a new idea.
Well, beyond this third party thing, Phil Spencer has allowed every studio he's acquired to make a new IP.
Sure.
All of them may have not come out yet, but every new studio he's acquired has greenlit a new IP. Whether it's Grounded or Sea of Thieves or Project Mara or what's that other game that Rare is making that had to get kind of rebooted.
Oh, Everwild. That we haven't fucking heard of.
Playground hasn't made a new IP yet. They just took over Fable. And they did Forza Horizon. But pretty much every other new studio they've made, Clockwork Revolution, they all have a new IP. I think Double Fine's working on something new right now. The studio behind Outer Wilds 2, they're not working on anything new yet, I don't think. But pretty much all of them are either doing or have done a new IP. Or several. Like Obsidian has 3. They have Pentiment, Grounded, and Avowed now. They have 3 new IPs. So I don't think new IP creation is a problem at Xbox at the moment. Got Hi-Fi Rush, that's a new IP. Deathloop was a new IP. Tokyo Ghostwire was a new IP. Redfall was a new IP. They're doing a lot of new IPs. They may not all be great, but they're doing a lot of new.
That's the risk of doing new IP. That's how that works.
Yeah, they're doing a lot of new IP over there.
I mean, yeah.
Well, the problem is they're not even marketing Halo.
Well, I mean,
have you seen the Halo commercial?
I haven't. No, I seen the Halo commercial for their new for their second season of the TV series. That's about it.
Which looks pretty good.
Yeah, they're not. They're not marketing.
I mean,
shit.
I mean, the only thing they market is Game Pass, and they just like get in the Game Pass and see all the goodness.
I don't even see enough marketing for Game Pass. Like if they marketed Game Pass properly, there would be if they marketed it properly, you know how many parents would sign up for like $9.99 a month Game Pass?
Teach these parents how to install it on their TVs. A lot of them probably don't even realize that they can run it on their TVs.
If you marketed it, you know how many parents would be like, I just got to pay $9.99 a month and I never have to buy my kid a game again? How many parents?
Or better yet,
you know how many parents would be like,
Chromecast,
my kid
buy
runs
a controller.
My kid runs up to me and says, "Can I get microtransactions? Can I get boy? If you don't get on that Game Pass and shut up."
Hey, you know what Game Pass needs in order for that? Because right now the kids are all stuck on Roblox. Damn phones.
You know how when we was growing up and like we wanted to get like McDonald's or something like that, and be like, "No, you got food at home." Like they'd be like, "No, you got Game Pass." That's exactly what it'd be like if they marketed it well enough. No, you got Game Pass. You don't need no Robux. You don't need this. You got Game Pass. I pay $9.99 a month. You can play whatever you want. I don't gotta spend no more or no less. Go have fun.
You gotta buy a controller too. Actually, no, you can buy any X input controller for a TV. They don't care as long as it's X input.
But I'm just
you can buy a cheap X input in the controller, plug in the back of your TV.
I'm
there
just
you go.
saying, if they truly marketed Game Pass properly, they probably have like 10 to 15% more customers in like US and like first world countries. They probably have like a 5 to 15% larger customer base. Like just if they marketed it. Like
oh wow.
Cause for instance, all the new sports games make it into Game Pass every year at some point in the year. Like I think after this, like the week after the Super Bowl, Madden will be in Game Pass. NBA 2K will be in, I think, around April. The new 2K will make it in April. MLB The Show launches day and date. I'm not sure about the FIFA, but I know NHL makes it in there. So all the sports games make it in there. Like there's a way to market these things, and they just fail to do that. And I think it kind of put them.
They just don't.
And I
When I say
think
play it anywhere on Xbox Game Pass.
I think to put what is it? They paid $7 billion for Bethesda, and they paid $75 billion for ABK when it was all said and done. It was like 75, 76. So you're talking about 80 something million dollars being invested into the Xbox brand, but nothing being invested into the marketing. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I mean,
I,
maybe Microsoft feels like Xbox Game Pass can speak for itself. They're like,
nah, you
hey.
can't invest
No,
you can't
no,
invest you can't invest close to
Netflix
$100
is
billion
something that
and
markets itself.
not invest in the marketing of that $100 billion. That, I mean, come on now, you gotta do a better job of.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe you can get the content creators. Maybe instead of paying all that money for commercials,
Maybe if they didn't pay Ninja all that money, they'd have better marketing.
Oh, you talking about for Mixer?
Wait.
Talking about for Mixer back in the
Mixer.
day.
Oh my
Forgot
god!
all about that. Wow.
Yeah, you talking
I
about
forgot
Mixer
all
back-
about Mixer. They tried. Well, it's okay because Twitch is going downhill too.
It
So
was still paying him after Mixer was already dead. Bro.
I just think
it's $20 million.
whatchamacallit is
Net.
stupid. I think the dumbest thing that Xbox did, not Xbox, the dumbest thing that Microsoft is doing to Xbox is that they let Xbox get to the point where they have all these games in the pipeline ready to come out. They're literally ready to release a first party game every quarter, and then you say, let's hit y'all with some nonsense that y'all have to fight your own fan base now. With
Stupid.
how you're gonna
it's like
how
all
you're
the
doing.
goodwill. It's like every time they take a step forward, it's 2 steps
Like,
back. Man. Every time.
If these Microsoft execs were really paying attention, they were getting to a point where people were starting to feel pressure to get an Xbox.
Yep.
Like people were starting to say, "Oh man, I wish this was coming." Like they were starting to wish it was coming to PlayStation. Like Indiana Jones. Like you had people in the media saying, "Oh man, I wish this was coming to PlayStation." They were getting to the point where people were starting to feel pressure to purchase into their brand, and then they come out and have these leaks, or not leaks, rumors, of all this nonsense. And these rumors, I'm not acting as if they don't have any legitimacy to them. I do think that they are very legitimate. I just don't know where we are at in these discussions with rumors, because when it comes to getting information secondhand, you don't know how old the information is and what has changed.
Right.
Oh, that actually did happen.
Yeah.
That happened with Microsoft actually with their Xbox leaks. There was old stuff that got scrapped.
Yeah, so I mean, like, all these rumors, I'm sure are valid in some sense. It's just a matter of how accurate they are, based on like a timing thing. So there are no leaks, but there are rumors, Trimble, that Xbox and Microsoft are kind of in the midst of a civil war as to what to do with Xbox content as regards to making it available on PlayStation and Switch. Seems like Microsoft wants to abandon the idea of console exclusives to some degree, and your Phil Spencer, Sarah Bonds, Matt Booties are kind of fighting the Microsoft powers that be to kind of maintain what they've built. So
yeah, because like, bro, it's like you let us get this far. Like, why would you fuck with us? You know what I mean?
Like if we got it to this point, why are you questioning us now? Kind of thing. That's what I would say. Like we got it this far. Like why are you interfering now? Yeah,
Maybe because they see it's more people on their phones and stuff, and they're like, "Oh, well, we just need to get it everywhere as much as possible."
Okay, that's one thing. It's phones. You know what I mean? Phones are one thing.
Yeah.
Well, just phones, TVs.
Microsoft doesn't seem to understand
what's
that,
next?
Trimble, so
they're not getting. That's why they have a gaming division.
We're gonna have to wait and see what happens. They're gonna have a event next week sometime where they actually talk about what their plans are with the Xbox brand. I mean, if I were them, I would not focus on the third party thing. I would lead with ABK, and then any other release like the Hi-Fi Rush type thing. I think I would kind of close with Hi-Fi Rush coming to PlayStation. But even if they announce Hi-Fi Rush to PlayStation, it's still not going to sell well on PlayStation. And the reason it's still not going to sell well on PlayStation is because they're not going to market it well enough to the PlayStation. Like,
I actually agree with that.
Like,
I actually
it's
agree
like
with that.
we're releasing Hi-Fi Rush on PlayStation in 3 weeks. Okay.
Nobody will
And
know.
there's
PlayStation's
no
not gonna
marketing
market
push
it.
for it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
PlayStation's not going to market it for them.
yeah,
They
PlayStation,
won't.
like, it wasn't at the state of play. So where is this game gonna get marketed at to go to PlayStation? How is it gonna, like, you're gonna send it over there to sell what?
Only the people on social media will know.
Yes.
I
So-
agree.
And it's not gonna have a physical release. We already know it's not gonna have a physical release. So people aren't gonna see it
Right.
in the store. So you're gonna release this game on Switch and PlayStation for what exactly? Like, the reason that the reason that Hi-Fi Rush did not have great sales has absolutely nothing to do with Hi-Fi Rush and if it's a good game or a bad game. It's the fact
Yeah,
that
it
you
was
shadow
shadow dropped,
dropped it into
they-
your service
Yeah,
and didn't have any marketing behind it. Like, usually, you know, for a game of that caliber, there's a build up, there's a trailer, there's a little sizzle reel, then there's a gameplay reveal where you go into combat for 5 or 10 minutes. You didn't really get any of that. Like, you got a little bit of it in a developer direct. You got an 8-minute snippet in a developer direct and go play it now. And
yeah.
you know,
I did like the format of that, but like, you know what I mean? Like, I see what you're saying. Like there's still no marketing punch behind it.
yeah, you get
Yeah, it feels
be
like
in
a
the
one.
know.
Like Hi-Fi Rush should be a one-off, but it feels like they're treating everything like Hi-Fi Rush.
yeah.
Right.
Mhm.
So, you know, do I think Hi-Fi could be a game that sold 10, 15, 20 million copies? Yes, I do think it could have done that. But when you don't market it for the proper 18 months prior to release, you know, that doesn't
And
really
all that
make it.
shit's moot.
And
All that shit is moot.
the
It
worst
doesn't
part
matter.
about Hi-Fi Rush, the worst part about the Hi-Fi Rush thing was that it came after a year where they didn't have any games
Didn't have no
released.
games. Yeah.
They went a whole year without a major release. They only released like Pentiment and like Tell Me Why during that year. All right. So that was the worst part, is that they had all the time in the world to market that game, and they could have dropped it a couple months earlier because the game was done for like a year and a half, I believe. The game was done for a while before. They just didn't have a window. They didn't have a quote unquote window to release it in.
hmm
What do you mean you didn't have a window to release it in? You had a perfect window to release it in. You went a whole year without a game. That could have been your game. That could have been your one big game that you dropped in the summer or in the fall or whenever. That was your one big game, and you fumbled it by shadow
Yep.
dropping it. I mean,
Not wrong.
I'm not gonna lie. At the time, I liked the shadow drop. It is a smaller game, but you did kill the sales potential when you did that. If Xbox had everything going great, if it was firing on all cylinders, and then you had a shadow drop, then I think you would have been okay. Because, like, I would say right now, Xbox is kind of firing on all cylinders since, you know, you had the ABK thing, you had Starfield, which was a big hit. Like, Xbox was doing pretty well up until this news. And then the closest thing you got to a shadow drop was Pal World. And
That was, I don't know.
They
Power was interesting because
they announced Pal World a week before it came out.
they did on Xbox. Huh.
Yeah, it was announced.
I mean,
like,
because
I think
a lot
on
of people-
PC and everything too. I think it was like 10 days before the game came out. We saw something about.
I mean,
Pal
'cause
World.
I know about the PC, like, because a lot, hence the reason why Power probably got better sales on physical or digital copies or whatever because of the Xbox version is behind the piece is behind the
Yeah,
Steam
but
version.
they launched
so
they launched on Steam and Xbox on the exact same day.
That's true.
It was both
A lot
on
of
the,
people
it was
just
both on the
Xbox numbers
19th.
were good, right?
Huh?
Do we know the Xbox numbers specifically for PAL? Just curious.
yes, we do now.
7
We got
players. We don't have retail sales though. We have 7
No,
million.
I mean like Xbox Live.
7 million players.
Yeah, we know. We got Xbox player accounts, but it's also so you got to combine the Xbox player accounts with the PC player accounts. It's like it's like 20 million, and the CEO is just the CEO is just like freaking out right now because he's like we can't buy all these servers, we go bankrupt, which is it's like good problems but not good problems. Like
you got to ramp up.
Yeah, but I'm saying I think that shadow dropped the work because Xbox kind of had something going for it. It was doing well at the time. Xbox wasn't doing well at the time at the Hi-Fi Rush shadow drop. It just wasn't.
Yeah, I mean, I know it's not coming to PlayStation anytime soon since Microsoft's trying to slide in and be like, "Hey,
well, Pocket Pair has never released anything on PlayStation." Apparently,
exactly. Well,
it's great for competition. Shoot.
I mean, yeah. I mean, hey, they're like, "Hey, we heard you need some servers." I'm Microsoft. I'm Daddy Microsoft.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, and it's just crazy because I mean, they see the impact that an exclusive is having on the platform right now, and they're still having this conversation. They've seen the impact that Starfield had. Starfield is one of the best-selling games of 2023. It was top 10 in NPD for the year, and
it was top
and
and very disappointing.
That's without being on other platforms.
Yeah,
outside of PC, so like it's doable.
I think Xbox had 4 of the top 20 games. They had 4 or 5 of the top 20 games in total NPD for the year. Because I think it was Starfield, 2 Call of Duties made top NPD, Diablo, and it was one other game that were top 20 for the year in NPD last year. So you got 4 or 5 games that were top in NPD. Why is Microsoft trying to rock the boat so hard? If it's because obviously sales aren't necessarily an issue when you got 5 games that are top 20 in NPD for the year, but you want all 5 to be in the top 10.
Yep.
I mean, of course, yes, you would rather all your games make all 20 because I think they released 15 games. So you'd rather all 15 be in the top 15 in NPD. That's not realistic, but I mean that should always be the goal. But even though that's the goal, I just don't see where it makes sense to do that damage to your brand as far as releasing games third party. I don't see it. Hi-Fi Rush, Chai, and 808, they do need to be everywhere. I've said over and over again that they should be the new face of Xbox.
You should,
as far as
the start, at least the start,
because they actually have a personality and things like that, and they appeal to the masses more than a Master Chief. You can market Chai to kids more than you can market Master Chief or Ferrari.
How do you market a guy that doesn't talk?
Some Gears Marines or whatever. You're muted again, Nappy. But
super badass. That's how you market him.
But I'm just saying,
you protagonist.
There's a wider marketing net you can cast with Chai and 808, and then if you throw them into Guitar Hero or you get them on Super Smash Brothers, like Chai and Super Smash Brothers would be fire. So I mean, I think there's a lot of things you can do with Chai.
Yeah, he's a franchise level guy.
That doesn't involve putting Hi-Fi Rush on Switch and PlayStation. I just think they're just dropping the ball. But if nobody else has anything to say, we can definitely close out because we're at the 3.5-hour mark, and I dare not look at the actual time.
Trust me, I see it.
I just want Sea of Thieves to have more players. That's all I want.
It's at 35 million. It may not be 35 million playing every day now, but they've reached 35 million players.
No, I need some of them PlayStation folks. Yeah, I want them Power World numbers right there.
They're above
That's
Power
very
World. They're 35. Power World at 20. But I think Power World going to hit 100 million players before it's all said and done. I think
it
they're
depends.
they're gonna be Fortnite all over again.
They did release a
But
roadmap,
now-
but the
Now
CEO
I
is
need
like
them to
scared.
lock that up. If that's what it's gonna be, they need to lock that up.
I think Power World is gonna be because I think what you're gonna do. I think you're gonna get Power World mobile at some point.
No, but that's their answer to Pokemon. That is their
Yeah.
direct answer to it. And Microsoft needs to lock it up. If
Yeah.
they're going to help them with servers and shit, they need to do everything they can to ensure it goes.
Oh, also,
They need to have
Skull and
like
Bones.
seasonal releases of new stuff.
Skull and Bones recently did an open beta, and it reminded me a lot of Assassin's Creed 4.
It's buns.
That game's not
No
real.
shit. It's Assassin's Creed 4, bro. It's the exact same shit mechanics.
Yeah, I'm just
Nothing's
like,
changed.
I love Assassin's Creed 4, but I do not think of it as just to take the pirate section of that game and just make it a full-fledged game.
No,
It's
like,
not
they
rubbing me
didn't
the right
even do-
way.
They didn't even do that. You can't even go on land and explore. It's all from your fucking ship.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Just play Assassin's Creed Black Flag. You have much better experience, and you get to play as assassin. Surprisingly, one of the better stories, despite the fact that was the first time they like really branched out and told something different.
Right.
All right. So, but yeah, I think we done beat the Xbox thing down. So with that said, we will roll into our outros. We appreciate everybody for coming through. I know we don't really say it to the end of the show. We gotta get better at saying it earlier. But if you like the show, please like, subscribe, and share. I'm gonna kick it down to Kofi. Where can people find you, and what will you be playing this week?
Yeah, guys, you can catch me at creative_Kofi on Twitter / the other thing that Elon Musk calls it. And of course, you can catch also my somewhat lengthy post about East 10 Nordics. I posted, it's pinned under my profile. So if you're curious about Falcom's newest action RPG, which hopefully is localized soon, definitely check that out. What am I going to be playing? Star Ocean 2 or Second Story Remake is number 1. 2, Gran Turismo, and then 3, Helldivers doesn't come out until next
Friday, right?
No,
It comes out this week.
Friday. Yeah. So Helldivers will be the next thing I pick up. Grand Blues also, but I think I'm going to be playing Helldivers first because I think I can probably get through I don't know.
Does Helldivers have a story?
Not
Well,
necessarily a story.
it's not necessarily like a story type of game. It's one of those games you just
I
play
didn't
with
think it
friends and you
was.
make like fun memories.
But he said,
I mean, if they do
but
have
he said he could
stories
get
like
through
that.
it. So when he said get through it, I'm like, get through what?
Well, I guess I'm thinking like the campaign. You know what I mean? Like through the whole.
Probably the reason why you're doing all the stuff.
Yeah.
Right. So yeah. But Grand Blue and Helldivers 2 will be my multiplayer fun outside of Gran Turismo. So
Okay.
see you on the other side.
All right. Nappy, where can people find you, and what will you be playing?
Yes, you can find me on Twitter and YouTube with Nappy Senshi. I am definitely still continuing playing Grand Blue Fantasy. I really enjoyed the gameplay of it, and I kind of want to get my characters leveled up and get all the sigils to get them like max gear. As far as controller reviews, I remember I mentioned Snowtubeman. It ruined my port on my mobile phone, so I've been playing around with it this whole stream, and I might just have to upgrade to the S24 Plus now because
Is that a S23 in your hand?
Why did
it's
you
an
take your
S22
phone
Plus.
with you to the snow?
No, okay. Look, guys, before you guys yell at me, listen, okay? One, it was no parking, so I had to park all the way out and been like this little parking lot and catch the bus to get up to the snow mountains part.
Dang.
It was free shuttle, but still. And then like I guess I didn't wear like waterproof pants. It was like 40 degrees outside. And it was snowing, and they had the man-made snow mountains. And I did pull my phone out to record my babe's going down, and I think that's where I fucked up because now like I am having a hard time getting my phone port to work as far as sending data through data. So my videos that's on here can't transport to my computer in a proper way. So I think it's time for me to get the S24 Plus. I'm just gonna have to get a little sooner rather than later. And even like all my mobile controllers, like they work and then they stop working. They keep on saying that there's like moisture or debris inside my port.
Just sit your phone in some rice overnight.
It's gonna be like a week. I'm just gonna get that S24 Plus and just call it a day.
But I'm saying,
Or
just,
go in there with the Q-tip and the rubbing alcohol, bro. You'll get it.
Just sit your phone in some rice overnight tonight, right next to your bed, in a bowl of rice.
Dang, I don't even have rice in my car.
Or just buy a bowl of rice and just let it sit in there overnight. It'll help dry it out.
Well, it's been like this for the past like ever since Sunday, all of Monday, and I'm
if
like,
there's any moisture in there, the rice will help dry it out.
Rice will
yeah.
it.
Yeah.
So yeah, that delayed my but anyway, that delayed my video reviews and also my mobile controller reviews. As you see, I got like 3 of them because mobile gaming, we're getting some really powerful phones here.
Mobile gaming is life for him.
It's not life. It is just I can respect it. Yeah, I can respect it without the microtransactions.
All right.
It's like there's some hidden gems there, and then there's just some really, really terrible microtransaction games. Heck, like I thought 2K and Madden on the consoles had terrible microtransactions. Man, the mobile versions, they are insane. But at least you get all playable characters from all seasons, from all years imaginable. So there's some people who spend money who got some really, really crazy teams. Okay. And they're like, so. But yeah, that's it for me. You'll catch me playing Grand New Fantasy, Power World, and Helldivers 2.
All right.
So, see you next time.
And Jubei, where can people find you?
Yep, you can find me at JubeiX Sensei on gaming platforms, Jubei Sensei everywhere else. Look for me on Spotify under Jubei Jones. I think I'm going to be playing some Tales of Arise this week.
All right. I bullied him into playing Tales of Arise. I'm doing my job.
Carol say I need to beat it.
All right. And you'll be able to find me, Pharaoh, at the Land of Pharaoh. I am doing like content throughout the week, so if you want my opinion on gaming news and things like that without this bunch of misfits, you'll find me there. And this week I am just ramping up for Final Fantasy Rebirth to the dismay of my panel. So I'll be playing Final Fantasy Remake, building up to that. And I'll be playing some other games in between that, but that's going to be my main one. Zero, where can people find you? And more importantly, where can people find us?
Well, as always, guys, thanks for hanging out with us for our extra special long one, but it was a pretty important topic to get across. Like, game industry might be dead as we know it. Goodbye video games for forever. It's been fun. But find me 0x386 pretty much anywhere. Playing Suicide Squad. I'm gonna try to get to max level, probably with Captain Boomerang, just to see the full loadout of everything. Then I'll probably be done with this game. Grand Blue, and also like Pharaoh, without his major obsessive compulsion, I too will be ramping up to play Final Fantasy. I've never played, what's the Yuffie DLC?
Integration.
Yeah, I've never played Intergrade, so I'm gonna play Final Fantasy.
Sense. Oh, you are gonna love Fort Condor. You're gonna love that.
That makes sense.
Oh, you are gonna love Fort Condor. You're gonna love that mini game.
Yes. Oh yeah, I can't
you're
wait.
just
I
gonna love playing
Condor.
as Yuffie.
Yuffie's a fun.
Oh, you're gonna love
like
once you
killer.
just get down with the synergy combat, and you're gonna have a ball as well.
Obviously, I'm already excited. So
her and Sonon, and that's gonna really ramp you up for Rebirth. Is the synergy combat.
I started up this week. But more importantly, what I'm playing, it is what you guys are listening to, and hoping it is us, Vitamin G Podcast, and you can find us pretty much anywhere you listen to your favorite podcasts. Google, Spotify, Podbean, YouTube. Please, you listening, you could be doing anything else, but you decided to listen to us and stick out with us for quite some time. So that's we appreciate that even more. So thank you guys, and see you next time.
All right. Thank you guys for getting your weekly dose of that vitamin G. We are out. Peace.
All right, see ya. Damn, Kofi left before the intro went through or outro.